I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the result. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who be caught up in using what I was called with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's the #1 chief rocker in Knicks universe, Uncle Freezy, coming through this afternoon. Party people, what's good? What's good with y'all? Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Free agency starts this week, and a lot of teams are interested in improving their rosters. Free Keith is in the building. What's good, Free Keith? UBG, I see you. Tough Love is in the building. What's good? Forbes Phil, what's good? I see you. South BK, what's good? Corey Lee, Felipe 210. Woodshed 1914 is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. What's good? What's good? Bim. Let's go. Let's get it, y'all. Let me share something with y'all real quick. Let me pull this up because the free agency class this year is not overwhelming, but it is at least something. Is what we got to deal with. It's what we have to deal with, right? So I have on the screen a list of notable NBA players with the opportunity to change teams based on their free agency status, based on if they have a player option that they can terminate, if they're a restricted free agent, unrestricted, blase, right? Sherwin M, what's good? E. Gibson in the building. Annie David, what's good? I see you. Yo, I saw this up top when I was backstage waiting for the intro to finish. This right here is intriguing, y'all. The Hawks might get DeJounte Murray from the Spurs. And Knicks fans, I know you're going to ask, well, Uncle Freezy, what does that have to do with us? Right? What does that have to do with us? What does DeJounte Murray leaving the Spurs, going to Atlanta, have to do with the Knicks? Well, for one, it takes a suitor off the free agency market. Right? It takes a suitor off of the free agency market because, for one, they address a position of need, and two, they don't have any more money to spend, right? Danny Lee, what's good? Danny Lee says, and thank you, Danny Lee, for the generous contribution. Danny Lee says, the show yesterday calmed me down after the draft. Me too, brother. Me too. Hey, Wapo is in the building. What's good? Keith Turner is in the building. What's good? Keith Turner, Mr. Turner, what's good? E. Gibson, rocking and rolling. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? If Atlanta pulls off the move with the Spurs, it takes a potential suitor off of the market. So it's less competition for this small pool of free agents. Right? Right? My question to Hawks fans and to Spurs fans is what goes in each direction from the two teams involved in the trade? And does this trade require a third team? Here we are. Here we are. We can be the third team in a deal. Heedy, what's good? Heedy says, or is trade the deal? I don't think so. B from Jersey, what's good? Do the Hawks trade Trae Young? I don't think so. I don't think, for one, Trae Young doesn't look like a San Antonio Spurs type point guard historically. Right? What do those point guards look like? Tough, gritty point guards. Avery Johnson, Rod Strickland, Tony Parker, George Hill, DeJounte Murray. Trae Young doesn't look like any of those guys. Right? Right? So how does this apply to Knicks fans? Knicks fans, listen, Knicks fans, I love y'all. And y'all are probably wondering, Uncle Freezy, what does this have to do? What does this have to do with the Knicks? I'd love to be the third team in that deal. Can I take on a terrible contract for draft picks in that deal? Right? Can Atlanta take on salary in that deal? No. But wouldn't it be nice to have a third team in that deal that can move some stuff and take on salary? And I know you guys are saying, well, the Knicks are basically tapped out. No, I wouldn't go that far, because the Knicks have movable contracts, easy to move contracts that we can do once free agency starts. And once we do that, then we can take on bad contracts and get first round picks. That should be the topic du jour for Knicks fans going forward. This season right here, the Knicks are going nowhere fast. The key acquisition, 360 days from today, should be Victor Wembanyama. $360 days from today, we should be congratulating Victor W. to New York City. And how we do that, we take on these bad contracts, let these kids play, accumulate first-round picks, let DeJounte Murray go to Atlanta, let Atlanta do their thing. We take on Danilo Gallinari's contract, take on a first-round pick for some first-round picks from the Spurs and Atlanta. Be the third team. Be the buffer. Be the DJ, Leon Rose. Be the DJ in this dance party. You don't have to dance and you don't have to sing. All you have to do is play music. That's it, Leon Rose. Be the buffer. E. Gibson says the sum of all fears. What E. Gibson just wrote is the sum of all Knicks fans' fears. E. Gibson says, real talk, I see the Knicks running out the vets again. And by All-Star break, we'll be a mess. Bro, I'm here to tell you, that is the sum of all fears. D Cooler says, pay Mitch. Danny Lee says, I love this idea. Yes. Right? Look, because think about this. Jalen Brunson will probably make us an 8th seed in the East. At best. The acquisition of Jalen Brunson makes us a 8th seed. Not 9, not in the playoff, not in the play-in, a comfortable 8th seed, right? Maybe 7. How does that make us better long term? And the deepest draft in memory, the Knicks want to try to make the playoffs. What? Sherwin M says it best. Jalen Brunson will not move the needle yet. The rumors are that we are willing to pay him $27.5 million. What are we doing? What are we doing? White Falcon. Hey, White Falcon, breaking news. Breaking news, White Falcon. White Falcon, breaking news. The Knicks drafted your Paul George and traded him to OKC. They couldn't wait for Ousmane Dieng to develop into the Paul George type player that you wanted. They traded him on draft day. The one guy out of the last 3 drafts that reminded people of a Paul George type player in the early days, they traded him to OKC. I think they were trolling you, bro. White Falcon, I think they trolling you, bro. They was like, White Falcon say Paul George every day. So we're going to draft a Paul George type player template. Because you don't know if he's going to be Paul George. And shoot, honestly, you don't know if he's going to be better than Paul George, right? You don't know at this point. At this point, nobody knows. But at this age and Paul George's age, they are similar height and weight, athleticism, do the same things, right? White Falcon come in every day. Oh, Uncle Freezy, all I want is Paul George. And the Knicks drafted him at 11. And he was on the first thing smoking. T. Williams in the building. What's good? I thought I saw my man up in here. I thought I saw my guy up in here. Let me see. Hey, OTDA, what's good? OTDA says, y'all want Kyrie, Pacer fan here, but basketball lover. So I just wanted to hear y'all fan base insight. All right. I want to get into that for you. First of all, thank you for coming through. Right? And even though this is a Knicks fans page, this is a basketball lovers channel. We talk hoops here. So even though we love the Knicks and we will cry a river every day just about, we talk hoops here. We respect smart opinions here. So we don't, the thing is for Pacers fans and other NBA fans that come through and hang out, right? So we don't do like the bullying and all that stupid mess and all that weird talk, man. We talk straight hoops. Try to respect everybody's opinions. And so the thing is with a Kyrie, right? OTDA, this is more of the Knicks want a franchise point guard situation more than we want Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving fits the bill for what we want as a point guard, right? A playmaker, a leader on the floor, somebody with playoff experience, somebody still young enough to give us at least 3 or 4 more good seasons, right? That's what we'd prefer, right? That's what we'd prefer. On the court, difference maker at point, or in the backcourt, just another playmaker that is a difference maker on the court. Somebody that makes his teammates better, right? Somebody that makes his teammates better, and somebody with playoff experience that can hit those big shots when big shots need to be hit. White Falcon asks, is Kyrie a playmaker? Yes, for himself and for others. And that's what you want. White Falcon says 3-team trade. Kyrie to the Clippers, PG-13 to New York, Randall to Brooklyn. Man, what are we doing? We need a superstar. Yes. Yes, we need a star in the worst way. I think I saw T. Williams in here. I see Akuma in here. What's good? Khaled Pasha, what's good? The Smoking Nick is in the building. What's good? What's good? Joe Madden. Let me do this. I'm gonna do a couple things right quick. I'm gonna throw the link in the chat just real quick. Just bear with me, right? I'm gonna throw a link in the chat. Come on in, be respectful. You already know how this go. Right? Right? I'm gonna put this back up so we can check this out. No Filter says Kyrie, RJ, KD, Obi, Mitch. Imagine. Bruh. Yes. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that. Joe Madden.
What's happening, bro?
What's good? What's good?
All good, all good.
Yeah, man. Hey, you see the free agency list up here, huh?
Yeah. The top three of them dudes ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
And then it kind of looks bleak. You have Kyrie. As I said, I'd rather have Brunson at $25 million for 82 games than Kyrie for $1 million a game.
Right.
Or 40 games, $40 million. I'm not in that. Some of these other dudes might not even leave. I don't think Anthony Simons is going anywhere. I think Bridges is kind of bluffing about the max deal. I think he eventually is going to re-sign with Charlotte. We have Mitch.
Hey, I hear the word on the street is that he's not re-signing with Charlotte.
Yeah, no, I seen that too. I think it's bluff. I think he'll eventually re-sign. He's trying to get leverage. I think he's trying to see what's out there if he can get a max. But if nobody gives him a max, I think he'll go back to Charlotte.
I think Detroit is going to offer him major money, bro.
You think so?
Yep.
But I think Charlotte might just match it anyway. So he's restricted.
Yeah.
So Detroit could offer him the max and Charlotte would be like, okay, I'll match it. And that's what a lot of teams are tending to do now. Instead of offering the guy, we must offer him the max, they're letting to see what other teams think of him and let them dictate the market and see what they offer, and then they'll automatically match it.
Right.
Because I don't think they can afford to lose him. I think LaMelo Ball, with some of the stuff going on there with the head coaching change and them losing Bridges, and I just don't think LaMelo Ball will be happy. And he's the type of guy where you need to keep him happy or he'll walk.
Yeah, he's already on the clock.
He's all right. He's a guy I could see give maybe 1-2 more years, and he'll be like, all right, I'm ready to move, because they gotta build around him fast. And I think taking, especially where they built off of having an okay year last year, I think taking Bridges away from that team is doing him a disservice. But you never know with Jordan. Jordan, greatest player of all time, worst owner of all time.
Well, how's James Dolan fit in that? The worst owner of all time conversation.
There's a couple of guys in that. There's Dolan. had that guy that had the Clippers for a while. He's in that.
And the dudes that owned the Hornets before Jordan. The stripper guys that moved the Hornets to New Orleans. You remember the dude? You remember the dudes before Bob Johnson? The dudes.
And then the NBA had the Hornets for a while, and then Jordan bought them off the NBA, right?
Yeah.
Because that's when they fixed the Anthony Davis draft. Hornets were going bankrupt. Next time they got the number 1 pick, they got Anthony Davis. Then they moved down to, or they changed name over to the Pelicans.
Yeah. They changed the name because they didn't want to be associated with those weird ex-owners. And then Jordan changed the name back to the Hornets. Remember they were the Charlotte Bobcats when Jordan bought them? Yeah. He bought them from Bob Johnson. Yeah. Don P in the building. Was good, sir?
Hey, how's it going, man? What's up, Joe? What's up, Uncle Freezy? How's it going?
What's up, bro?
Man, trying to figure this thing out, bro.
Hey, first and foremost, man, I want to give you a shout out, Uncle Freezy, man. Thanks for just having, just the average Knicks fan on here, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
When you hear Stephen A. Smith talk, you don't speak for the rest of us. And as you can see in the chat, we all got our different opinions. So just for you having us on the show, giving our takes, man, I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart, bro. It's definitely a stress reliever for sure.
Yeah, you know, guys like Stephen A. I bet if you sat down with Stephen A. face to face, he'd be honest about the Knicks. This stuff he goes on, it's all views and ratings to put money in his pocket.
Yeah.
That's what it is. All these antics he does, he knows Knicks fans are clicking on that, and every time they click on that, that's another dime in the back pocket for him. So,
yeah, he's got some.
I don't think any of it's real.
In. Woodshed 1914 is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. My brother.
What's up, y'all? What's up, man? What's up?
What's good, brethren?
Hey. I'm doing well, man. I guess the one positive thing I can say right now is we've all been through worse with the Knicks. We've all been through worse. But I don't want to take it. I want to pose one quick question.
Okay.
Why is it that restricted free agents always seem unattainable to the Knicks from a fan perspective, but they move every offseason? Every offseason, we see restricted free agents change teams, but when they're available, us, and I include myself as Knicks fans, we look at those guys as unattainable. Why is that?
Because we've never really had the assets. Now we have assets, so we're kind of looking at it. Before it was never the assets, and usually you look at these restricted free agents. Most of the time, it ends up the team's like, all right, well, I got to get something for him. So to try sign and trade, we got to give up something. And we've already had something already given up. So now I think it's more. Now we're starting to get picks, and to me, it's crazy. Now Knicks fans have been so tight with draft picks. As soon as Devontae Murray's coming, they're like, "Oh yeah, throw 5 picks at Murray," and you're like, "Yo, chill." It's like you're trying to save money to buy a house, but the first house that comes to the market, you see, you're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna buy that one." No, relax.
I'm gonna buy that 2-bedroom half bath on the railroad tracks in a bad neighborhood, and I'm gonna pay $4 million for it.
Yeah, I'm cool. Yeah.
But they have to have something planned. I'm not triggered by the drafts. I think the biggest thing for me was that it showed that they're trying to win. They're trying to make a move to put themselves in position to win. But my only thing is, if we get Jalen Brunson, great. That's the best point guard in a long time. But what else? You know what I'm saying? It can't just be that and so we're gonna get Jalen, we're gonna run it back. No, it can't just be that. What else do you have for us?
Right.
Well, my question to you, is do you expect for us to compete?
I expect for us to be competitive in the East, not win the East, but I mean, I expect for us to be in the hunt. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to be here comes the All-Star break and we already 9 games below 500. We clinching a deal life, trying to make the play, and that's the worst case scenario to be in, man. And the thing is, every move that they make, I feel should be moving us forward to the long term. That doesn't mean moving us upwards in the win column per se, but towards the long term. We traded the first for Cam Reddish. Guess what? The Hawks about to use that to get to Dejounte Murray, man.
Right. And,
Yeah.
and here's the other thing to that too. What I'm sorry, Don P. Let me say this real quick. The Knicks they swapped picks. They traded a first round pick in a close draft for a second round pick in a draft down the road. So essentially, they traded a first, but they got a second down the road, right? But here's the thing: in trading that first, why are you now talking about trading Cam Reddish or including him in the deal to clear up cap space when all you had to do was not sign Taj Gibson? Because Taj Gibson and Cam Reddish make about the same money, right? Now you have to consider trading Cam and waiving Taj.
No, I don't think. I think what they're most likely to do, I think if any of them scenarios, is probably try and move Burks and then waive and stretch Noel. I think part of trying to get dumping picks to get rid of Kemba, I think had a lot to do with it. Was like, look, if we're gonna say we have to waive one of these guys and dump one of these guys. Which one is the easiest to dump? One is the easiest to waive, because you couldn't waive both of them. So now it's you've dumped Kemba. You're going to get something, trade maybe Burks into one of them trade exceptions, get like a late first or maybe a second for him if you're lucky, and then you're going to have to waive and stretch Noel. And that's going to open up roster spots, but to me that's where for Brunson, right? So that's to me Brunson's in the door. There's too many connections. They can't have his father's godfather on the agent is the president of operations in New York's son. They can't be clearing cap space and not knowing what's going on. So to me, as assuming Jalen Brunson's on the roster, not bar a disaster.
Okay.
So to me now there has to be another move. There has to be Evan Fournier in a pick or two to get something else to move the needle. Because Brunson might make us better, but the way the West is or the way the East is moving, it's not going to get us that much better. It might get us to the play-in, but it's not getting us to the 6th seed or the 7th seed or whatever.
Bro.
So that's where it has to be. There has to be another step. And there should be with all these picks.
Right.
We got 11 picks we can move over the next 7 years, and you might be able to get another pick or two. Depends how the offseason goes.
Yeah,
so,
you got 22 picks, including the seconds. I understand.
Including the seconds, 22 picks.
So the question is, do we have to move the needle this season? Is that a must? Like, look at the free agency pool that we have right now. Look at the trades we're able to make. Look at our salary cap. Do we have to make a bunch of trades and move stuff around to move the needle this upcoming season?
Yes.
Who's your owner?
If you sign on Brunson, you have to look to move the needle, because if you want to rebuild, the whole thing is, it was like, if you want to be patient, then you don't re-sign Brunson. You keep your 4 picks. You stretch Kemba. You let it Noel expire. You take patient vote. They're already clearing cap for Brunson. So I said Brunson's coming. They're not bringing Brunson here just to run it back and see what happens next year. They're here to make a move. So there has to be another move with Brunson to move the needle. So I just don't see Brunson on his own making that much noise. Makes us a little better. We have a bit of a closer, but we need something else with him.
If we fail to sign Brunson, would that be a fill for all of us?
What?
If we fail to sign Brunson, is that a fill for the front office?
Oh man, they about to get fired then.
Yeah,
they about to get fired,
bro.
If they miss out on him, they're done. They're on the clock.
Yeah, because Don P, listen, this is what they did. They mortgaged the rebuild to create cap flexibility. Remember, that's the first thing Leon Rose pointed out in that statement that he released, right? Because in theory, you could have just drafted or brought in Ousmane Dieng, not worry about future draft picks, because you already had 2 in next year's draft, right? You could have brought in Ousmane Dieng, which is a basketball player, right? You could have kept Jalen Durant if that's what you had to do, right? And I understand that you wouldn't have ever had Durant and Dieng at the same time, because one of the picks you got in the Dieng deal went to trade Durant and Kemba to Detroit, right? But in theory, you could have traded one of your own firsts in that Durant deal, right? Say the Dallas pick, which is looking less and less valuable by the second, right? The stronger Dallas gets, the worse that pick looks, right? And so you could have traded that Dallas pick while it's at its all-time low. When we got the pick, think about this. When we got the pick, and Woodshed can attest, when we got the pick, the Knicks were 6th worst in the standings, meaning if the draft would have happened the day of that trade, the Knicks would have picked 6th, right? And the Mavericks would have picked 8th, right? Over the years, the Knicks have fallen backwards, some getting better and better in the standings, but the Dallas Mavericks have gotten light years better. So that pick went from potentially being top 8 to now the
bottom 8.
The Dallas Mavericks could win the NBA championship.
You remember, Freezy, we were on Sportscaster, and me and you both agreed, and there was a couple other people on there too. If the Knicks are having to draft with that Dallas pick, something went terribly wrong, man.
Something went terribly wrong
along the way. To me, there's a thing you got to consider with Dallas was, right, with Brunson's ascendant. Dallas were kind of iffy at the beginning of the year. Tim Hardaway Jr. went down. They moved Brunson into the starting lineup. They took off, made the 5th seed Western Conference final, right?
Right.
So they brought in Christian Wood, makes them a little bit better. I don't know how much it moves the needle with them. For them, they're already over the cap. They need to go over the cap to sign Jalen Brunson. They missed that opportunity now to do a sign and trade. They're losing him now for nothing, and they don't have the cap to replace him. Dallas, therefore, is possibly going to be a worse team because the rest of the West is going to get better. So what I'm saying is, them picks don't go off with the playoffs. It goes off the regular season. So if that pick say Dallas goes like 6th or 7th seed, that pick's going to be in like the late teens. So there you go. It's a more valuable asset then to use to move up in this draft.
Right.
So there are possibilities unless you see Dallas trying to finesse something else.
But what if they re-sign Brunson, bro? They're not the only front office that can make trades and clear cap space. Right? We can do it.
They don't have picks to move to clear a cap.
Right.
That's their problem because we hold our pick.
Right. But you can trade a Spencer Dinwiddie, right? You can trade a Spencer Dinwiddie and a Tim Hardaway Jr. and have more than enough to re-sign Jalen Brunson. Right? Now, in theory, you would want to keep both because they make you better. But if it comes to who do I keep, a 25-year-old guy that could be a borderline all-star, or do I keep a journeyman point guard coming off of a severe knee injury, or Tim Hardaway Jr.? The decision is easy. Do I keep Brunson, Tim Hardaway Jr., or Spencer Dinwiddie? The decision is too easy, right? I want to give Dallas front office at least some leeway to be creative enough to re-sign Brunson. I don't think it's totally a done deal.
No. They can give him whatever they want. They can go over the cap. But what I'm saying is, if they lose him, then they're in trouble.
Right. No. I agree with you. But I agree with you there because what you said was smart, and I agree. But what I'm saying is this: is Mark Cuban willing to pay the luxury tax at that high number if it means he gets a run at making an NBA Finals? And in my mind, I say yes.
Absolutely.
Right. In my mind, I say yes, because as a championship contender, you get a limited window. Right. And once you get in that window, you can't be cheap. You got to damn the torpedoes. You got to put your foot on the gas because you never know when you'll get back in that window again. Right. And so I'm giving Dallas credit for being smart enough to recognize this. Right. What Portland did on the other hand, when Portland made the Western Conference Finals, they said, hey, man, we got Dame Lillard. We'll be back. And Portland has gone backwards ever since. Right. And if you watch basketball, right, if you watch the Portland Trailblazers, the Atlanta Hawks did the same thing. Right. They're like, we don't have to bring in a free agent, man. What we'll do is, and now the Atlanta Hawks are realizing that their young core is not good enough. Now you hear them in DeJounte Murray rumors, right? Because they want to get back to the Western Conference Finals. So what I'm saying to the Jalen Brunson stuff is I don't think Jalen Brunson's in the bag. I think the Knicks will have to fight and pry Brunson away from Dallas. Even at that ridiculous number, $27.5 million. Dallas is in there for Dallas. If Dallas pays him $20 million, I think that's about what the Fred VanVleet money is about what he deserved.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, at the voice of what's seeing is, I think it's a done deal because the Knicks wouldn't have cleaned the cap space. And when people are saying, oh, well, they done that for KD and Kyrie or Porzingis, that was different. Back then, they cleared the cap space in a Porzingis trade 6 months before the trade deadline.
And it was a deep free agent class.
Yeah.
And it was a deep free agent class. So even if they swung and missed for KD and Kyrie, they still had money to sign a whole bunch of other dudes. And that's what they did. But
they swung and missed on everybody, or just were asleep when everybody else was signing contracts. But when it comes to Brunson, it's like they have everybody they need and all the information they need to know whether to clear the cap. And I guess they try to involve a sign and trade with the Mavs. They're like, no, the Mavs are like, no, we want to keep him. Go clear the cap. And the Knicks are like, okay, we'll clear the cap. Right. So now, if he does sign, which I think he's signed, I don't think the Knicks. It'd be a disaster if he doesn't, and this would be bad front off management if you're clearing the cap, not sure if he's signing. So to me, them clearing the cap is a guaranteed he's done, unless they have another move in mind or a backup plan.
Right. And so here's the thing that I would say to you, Joe, and it's my question I wanted to ask you the other day. Joe, you notice when we get here, it's harder when we open up the thing, it gets harder and harder for me to ask you questions. Joe, it's like legit, I want to ask you questions, right? And once we get like 7 people in here, and I have to just go walk the dog. but look, here's my question. The Knicks are targeting a young lead guard from a team that has had playoff success, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So why are we hell-bent on Jalen Brunson when on the screen you see Colin Sexton is here? You see Anthony Simons is up there. You see Malik Monk is up there. You know what I'm saying? You see Zach LaVine is up here, right? Why do we need Jalen Brunson at $27.5 million when there are other options on the board? Clearly, what does Jalen Brunson do to a Knicks organization that Anthony Simons can't do?
That was for Joe Madden, right?
Yeah. I'm just looking on the list, and there's Harden was in a conference final. Irving was. Aiden was. I don't see anybody else. Bradley Beal hasn't done anything but put up empty stats in his career. Zach LaVine, I like Zach LaVine, but
Simons was a rookie during that Portland Western
he
Conference.
was.
Finals
Yeah. He was a rookie, but the thing with Brunson I like is he's just winning basketball and he doesn't need the ball to affect the game. And I just think there's so much he brings. To me, the fit is a concern defensively with his size and with number 30. I just don't see the fit there because they work in the same area, but they both need to get to the paint, and they both need the mid-range. Neither of them are really great from 3. Like Brunson will hit a 3, but he's not looking for his 3s.
Right. He's excellent in the corner. He's excellent in the corner 3, though.
Yeah.
So in theory, Brunson plays point guard like a big man. Like he loves the mid-range and he knocks down the corner 3s. But you already have RJ Barrett and Julius Randall that want to do the same thing. So when Brunson comes here, he's going to have to do something else, or your best 2 players are going to have to do something else.
So the thing with Brunson is, though, you see him it's funny it's impressive watching him play because you see him. He does play like a big man. Like he be posting big men up and he be setting screen. Like he sets more screens than Julius Randle's probably ever set in his career. And Julius Randle's a power forward meant to be setting screens.
Right.
So like some of the stuff Brunson does is impressive. I like him as a player. I just hope that there's something else coming with him and that there's another move. Because me long-term thinking, I don't think Julius Randle should be here past this deadline. If you're bringing Brunson in, that means you've a plan for Julius to be out soon.
Right.
Because fit wise, and just with the you're not bringing Brunson in to paying him $27 million to play off ball to Julius.
Right.
You want him. The whole purpose to bring him in is to put the ball in his hands and get the ball out of Julius's hands. How is Julius going to want that? How is that going to affect RJ's development? Because RJ's starting to get more on ball reps. There's all these little factors to it.
They don't care about RJ development, bro. This front office, I'm saying it here first. This front office does not care about RJ Barrett's development, right?
You think he's gone once there's a big trade?
I think they are not. I don't think they're averse to trading RJ Barrett. But it's got to be the right deal, and they're sensitive. They're not putting RJ out there to be traded. But if somebody made the right offer, RJ would be gone, bro.
Well, see, to me, then it's right. All right, if they're not high on RJ and they really wanted Ivy, why wasn't RJ Barrett on the table on draft night?
You don't know he wasn't.
But I don't know if he was. I don't know if he was the type of player where they were like, oh, we're going to give up RJ to move up a couple of spots in a draft.
But the thing is, you can't let it be known that RJ Barrett is in a trade when contract extension time is on the table for both sides. Right?
True.
Because if you do that, all that do is it opens the door wider for you to get fired. Because if you put RJ out there and you don't get Brunson, and you didn't draft anybody, and then you messed up the RJ Barrett negotiations, Dolan's coming to your office and telling you fired.
And RJ's going to want out or leave in free agency.
Because the one thing you don't want is the one potential star that you do have disgruntled by your front office that looks like they don't know what they're doing.
So why aren't we linked to two names on that list, man? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we need.
Right.
We need two guys on this list. You know, if you get two,
who's taking Randall with that 15? We also have to pay, I think, is a 15% trade kicker too on top of that when we move them. But we have to move off Randall 48 to pay two of these dudes. That's the thing, unless you're able to move Randall out in the sign and trade.
No. Well, yeah. So what you do is the sign and trade, but you take back a terrible contract. Does Charlotte have a terrible contract on their books right now? Yes.
Gordon Hayward, yeah.
And you know who it is. Yep, exactly. So what you do is offer them Randall and some series of weird, obscure draft picks. You know what I'm saying? To be like the steak sauce on your steak. You know what I'm saying? The mashed potato for your dinner, right? And then you get back Miles Bridges and Gordon Hayward.
So
they could have done Randall for 15 and Hayward on draft night. Instead, they ended up doing another deal with the Hornets, getting 13 just to move Kemba. They could have moved Randall, took on Hayward's contract, gave them Randall, and got another pick out of it.
Right.
And traded back if they wanted to. They get that another asset with that pick.
Right.
So if you were doing a deal with Charlotte, that's the Gordon Hayward, that's something you probably missed the boat on.
Right.
So is this a question of what the front office is going to do or what we want as fans?
I'm just looking at what I expect them to do at this point.
Front office is going to build around Julius. That's what I think.
I mean, that's their man. Julius? That's their man. They made that clear. They sat down with Julius like he was LeBron James, man. This was before Tom Thibodeau was even hired. That's their man. That's why I keep trying to tell fans, of course, we want him out of here. But that's their man.
I think that's Tom Thibodeau's man. I don't think that's Leon's man. Leon's man is Obi Toppin.
If you go back to the Woj podcast, Randall said he sat down with Leon Rose and William Wesley, and they asked him, what kind of coach do you want?
Right.
He was that's their man. Before Tim even came in the picture,
Julius Randle co-signed Tom Thibodeau.
Yep.
Let's not forget that now. Let's not think that this thing just think back to last year.
I agree with that.
They trying to shop him out before they even hired the coach? He was in a trading block when Leon got here, right? Because then they drafted Obi to move Randall.
That was my point.
You're going to move the dude, but then you want to ask him, oh, what coach do you want?
No. How this happened is Leon Rose gets hired because whether people realize it or not, Julius Randle is Dolan's man, right? That's Dolan's man, because out of all those free agents that the Knicks signed over the years, Julius Randle is the one guy to come here and actually be productive on a free agent deal. Remember, and I'm not knocking Bobby Portis because I love him. I love Bobby Portis, right? They signed Bobby Portis, Julius Randle the same offseason. Bobby Portis was signed to $15 million a year. Randle was signed to $18 million a year. Ideally, what we wanted was those two to go into competition and compete for that alpha dog spot, because both were lottery picks, both played the same position, both got raw deals in their previous two stops. Remember, Bobby Portis was in Chicago looking like he had tremendous upside. They traded him to the Wizards, and we know he got a raw deal with the Wizards. The Knicks signed him in free agency. Julius Randle drafted by the Lakers. They give up on Randle. He goes to New Orleans, and then he revives his career. And ideally, you wanted both of those two young dudes to come in here and step up and then have one of them be the alpha. At the time, personally, I was rooting for Portis, right? I was rooting for Bobby Portis to do it. Even though I like Julius Randle, I think Bobby Portis personally brought a personal toughness that soft Knicks team from the year before didn't have, right? But Randle comes here. He's 20-10. He shows out. They fired the coach. Randle's numbers don't fluctuate after the coaching change. Randle's numbers get better after Fizdale is fired, right? Proving that if you bring in a quality coach, Randle can get better. And so what people, when they look at Randle, they were like, well, Randle was a bust with the Lakers. Well, who was the coach? The coach was Luke freaking Walton. A terrible coach, right? You look at the coach in Washington. I forget his name. I could see his face. I can't remember his name. But he was a terrible coach. The dude before Scott Skiles, I think. Or it might have been Scott Skiles. I can't remember. Anyway, and that's Scott Skiles. Y'all know who I'm talking. Scott Brooks. Yeah. And so Bobby Portis didn't ball out, right? But Bobby Portis got here and looked good in stretches, and you didn't know, because we all knew Marcus Morris was going to get traded. Let's not pretend like we didn't know Marcus Morris was going to get traded, right?
That was one of the best big businesses they ever done before they left, was signing Mook Morris, flipping him at the deadline, and getting quickly out of it. Right.
And we also got Mo Harkless. Remember, we got Mo Harkless and something else out of that deal. And we could have flipped Mo Harkless, but we didn't. We held on to him.
Yeah.
So that he can take minutes from Kevin Knox. But anyway, Randall proved that he can step up and play in the big city at that time. At that time is what I'm saying. He proved that he can ball in New York. He's Dolan's man, right? Before, and listen, as soon as Leon comes in, they ask him about what you want as a coach. Randall co-signs for Tibbs. When Tibbs gets hired, Tibbs goes to see Julius Randle work out in Dallas. And he like, big boy, in order for you to be an all-star, I know you want to be an all-star, but in order for you to be an all-star, you have to be in the best shape of your life. You have to be able to hit the three, right? You have to be able to defend, all these things. And then Julius Randle comes in that season, right? Remember in training camp, the Detroit Pistons game, right? The Detroit Pistons game, when we were hearing murmurs about some dude named Emmanuel Quickley has potential to be an NBA starter. We didn't know what he was, right? I'm in South Carolina. So I watched Quickley play for 2 years, right? Right in Columbia. I knew Quickley was going to be a player, right? We hear these murmurs out of camp that this dude Quickley is better than Frank Ntilikina and Dennis Smith Jr. right now. He might even be better than Austin Rivers right now, right? This is what we're hearing, but we don't know that yet. But in the Detroit Pistons game, Julius Randle catches a pass at the free throw line, has a wide open shot, right? But he doesn't take the shot. He kicks it in the corner. He kicks it into the corner to a wide open Kevin Knox. And Kevin Knox knocks down the three. And we were like, holy crap. Julius Randle can pass out of the pinch post. Right? And then we saw him do that early on in the season. Julius Randle going to a game, 6 assists, 9 assists, 7 assists, 8 assists, 4 assists, 9. You're like, holy crap. This dude is a baller. Right? And then we forget about Bobby Portis leaving, right? We thought Bobby Portis was going to sign back. We just didn't want to pay Bobby Portis $15 million, right? It wasn't that the Knicks didn't like Portis. They just didn't want to pay him $15 million. And it wasn't like that Bobby Portis didn't like the Knicks. He just wanted to win. When you want, bro, there is no accounting for wanting to win, bro. That's one of the things that I wanted to get at with Knicks fans. Nobody wants to be on a team where you always lose. My point is has the stories about Julius Randle been all over the place? Yes. About Tom Thibodeau? Yes. About Leon Rose and World Wide West? Yes. It's all because we hear different reports from different people saying different things. But this is the thing that people need to remember. Julius Randle is James Dolan's man. Right? Because he came here and did it when Noah Vonleh, Bobby Portis, Julius Randle, all in the same position, all power forwards, all lottery busts, right? All going to bad teams. They weren't bust because they didn't have NBA talent. They were bust because the teams they went to were disasters. Right? Bobby Portis can play. Remember, he went to Chicago. Chicago was a disaster when Bobby Portis was there. Is that Bobby Portis' fault? No. You know what I'm saying? And so Noah Vonleh was here the year before playing the point forward, and he looked like a joke. Julius Randle comes the next year and puts up 20 and 10 on career average efficiencies playing in the Garden. Could he have been better? Yes. But he was definitely better in that second season. And none of us can dispute that. Right? I know it sounds like I'm camping for Randall, but all I want to do is just talk about some of the truths about Randall. Right? Because to be honest with you, Julius Randle has been the best power forward this team has probably had since who? Oakley?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Amari had the injuries, but yeah, you got to go back to Oak, man.
Right.
You got to go back to Oak.
I would say this about Randall. Again, I'm never going to call him a scrub. I'm not going to deny his talent. But my thing is, and we talked about the whole Willie Cauley-Stein thing and DeMarcus Cousins. If you believe in him that much, why on God's green earth would you draft Obi Toppin? Why?
Right.
Is it about the best available talent? Is it about the best available talent, or is it about the fit? Why would you draft somebody?
Well, I think it was both, but they failed to realize that the coach they just hired is religious in rim protection. He doesn't believe in going any minute without rim protection. So that's the mistake. I believe they thought best player available. We maybe can make it work if we don't move off of him. And that's what's backfiring now because the coach refuses to make it coexist.
And here's another issue that I have, and it's not necessarily with Randall because that's out of his hands. Y'all know how Greg Popovich holds nobody's above being held accountable on the court with Greg Popovich. You know, he would go off on Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan is his moneymaker. Right. My thing is, Tom Thibodeau, if he's gonna hold people like Obi Toppin and the young rooks accountable, hold your best star accountable as well. If you're a parent and you telling one child they can't do this, that, and the other, and then the other child goes along and do it, you can't just wave that off like it's nothing, because then I'm gonna look at you like, yo, what's up? If he could do it, why can't I?
Right.
You know what I mean? So you got credence to what you said. He may be a Dolan dude, but it's just added on to why it's split on Randall. He's such a polarizing figure. And I know Knicks fans don't judge who gets to come and go in the Garden, but yo, if they cheered hard enough in the Garden, man, hey, it's gonna be heard. Don't nobody want to be where they not wanted.
And that's to me next year. If he comes out and shows the first 20 games, glimmers of what we've seen in that second season of his, where he was most improved player, there's going to be some trouble because there's going to be people in the organization. The fan base will be split. There's going to be half the people in the fan base and the organization will be like, trade him. The other half, we keep him. Because they'll be like, oh, here we go. Here's all NBA team Randall again. And some people are like, here's the anomaly again. You get Randall every 2 or 3 seasons. So that's the thing. What Randall are we going to get next year? Because either way, it has us in a tough position. Because then if he doesn't perform, you can't trade him. And if he does perform and it's back to where he was, then you can't trade him either. Because if you're winning too. So it's kind of it's tough to decide what to do with Randall, because I like Randall. He's such a polarizing player. When he has it, he has it. He's like LeBron James 2.0. But most of the time, he's in his head, and it's not there. And that's the thing this team needs is consistency. And if he can't give us consistency, then you have to move on.
No, I would say that Randall is consistent in getting his numbers at least. You know what I mean? We can't sit there and say that.
No, but it's the efficiency and like the leadership and the defense and some stuff he does more like consistently. His 20 and 10, he'll get his 20 and 10 whenever he wants. Like that's not an issue, but is his 20 and 10 always continuing to winning, or was a 20 and 10 help win games? And it did that season when he was all NBA team. It helped.
So let me ask you this.
Really helped.
Let me ask you this, because I think that we all understand Julius Randle's issue is not his contract and it's not his game. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to go out and find a player with the talent and the production of a Randall for $24 million. You just ain't going to find that. But I noticed the proper thing would be for Tibbs to hold the man accountable, just like he would Quinn Grimes or Deuce McBride. But how do you think, knowing how emotional Randall is, he's going to respond to being called out like he would a Deuce McBride?
Right.
So are you saying that's acceptable? I'm not understanding.
No, I'm not saying that. I already said it's not acceptable. I'm asking you, how do you think he's going to respond?
I don't care.
You think he's going to respond negatively or positively to that type of criticism?
He's going to respond negatively, right?
Okay. So you know who the onus is on, right? It's on the management team. It's on the management team to hold him accountable. When he flipped off the fans, who allowed him to skip the interviews and had RJ Barrett and Evan Fournier and Tom Thibodeau catching all the smoke?
Yeah, definitely management. For sure.
It's management.
The problem is just the lack of leadership. I think last year Kemba wasn't a leader who was meant to be. There was problems, whatever. I think this year you need to look to invest a couple of $1 million, even if it's a guy that's not going to give minutes, just because Taj wasn't doing the job last year. It's meant to be the leader. And if I'm not paying Taj $2 million to sit at the bottom of the bench, maybe play 5 minutes and not be a leader. So What I'm more looking at, I'm like, bring Melo in for a year or two. Someone that they look up to, because nobody's on the roster that Randall thinks he's the best on the roster. There's no direction in the roster when it comes to the coaching staff or no leadership. I think with Kenny Payne and these guys gone, that was leadership out the window. Because like Tom Thibodeau is a great coach, but he's not exactly, I wouldn't say a leader.
He's not personable for one.
So that's you need to bring a voice in that can tell these guys, you know what, shut up and let's play basketball and let's win games, and just instead of these dividing, because I think Kemba can probably come into the locker room as Kemba Walker, thinking it's Kemba Walker 2012 when it was Kemba Walker 2021 that was washed. And that was a problem.
Right. We had that player last year. You know who it was? It was Reggie Bullock.
Reggie Bullock. Yeah.
Right.
Reggie Bullock. Every time Randall got ready to turn up last year, who was in his ear? Reggie Bullock.
And you know what? And Woodshed, to your point, you remember you and I think I don't know if it's you and I or you, me and Free Keith, but I had a conversation with one of the guys that I've been knowing for a while. And for those that don't know, Woodshed, 1914, and myself, Free Keith, we've all known each other for how long? Porzingis been since before 2015. I think, because we all started kicking it like before the Porzingis draft, right? And wow, man, time flies, bro. That's like 7 years.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But anyway, my point is just Reggie Bullock was here last year, right? And all the missed rotations or threatened rotations, Reggie Bullock directed traffic, right? Reggie Bullock and Elfrid Payton directed traffic, right? Elfrid Payton's contribution on the perimeter with RJ Barrett was invaluable, right? When Elfrid Payton was here 2 seasons ago, RJ Barrett looked like he could be someday an elite wing defender. Now, I'm not saying the best wing defender, but RJ Barrett looked like he could be a top 20 wing defender, right? Last year, without Elfrid Payton, RJ Barrett looked lost, right? Reggie Bullock with Julius Randle was a top 4 defender from the forward position. Of all the forwards in the NBA, Julius Randle was ranked 4th in defense, right? Of all of them, name all the forwards you want. I don't care. Your Kawhi Leonard's, your Giannis, your whoever. Julius Randle only had 3 players better than him at forward, right? They don't sign Reggie Bullock. Julius Randle's defense goes in the toilet, right? And what people will say, well, Julius Randle don't have heart. He don't hustle. No, it's not that, bro. It's people get tired of getting beat play after play after play after play after play. At some point, you got to look at the front office like, what are we doing? Why do you even have – look, for instance, how can we legit say Julius Randle don't have the right to get frustrated when at some point Tom Thibodeau had to put Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker, and Obi Toppin on the floor together, on the floor defensively at the same time, and then you say, well, RJ Barrett don't have the right to be frustrated about defense.
Dad, what's going on?
That's ridiculous. But anyway, Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Duggar says, let's always desire what we know we can't have. Hey, Paris Duggar, listen, man, brother, I'm with you. I'm with you, Paris Duggar. And shout out to the old head Knicks fans in the building, right? And so what I'm getting at is we get frustrated with Randall about getting frustrated about personnel. Like Julius Randle, stop pouting, play ball. Meanwhile, Kemba is getting beat like a drum defensively. Evan Fournier is a bad defender that likes to gamble defensively, right? Alec Burks is not a good defender, but he tries. Obi in defense shouldn't even be mentioned in the same paragraph. Yet we say, Julius Randle, you don't have the right to be frustrated. You are the team leader. You get paid the most. When at the time, Julius Randle was making $1 million more than Evan Fournier. At the time, Julius Randle was making $19 million. Evan Fournier was making $18 million. But Julius Randle gets all the smoke. Evan Fournier gets a pass.
You talking about talk, Uncle Freezy. You talking about the eye test right there. You're not talking about stats. You're talking about what you see on the court.
Right.
So if we get into that conversation, can you defend all the times when he argued with the ref?
No.
Can you defend that?
No.
That's what Bullock was for, though. Reggie, I'm telling you, if you go back and watch those games, Reggie Bullock was always that dude to say, hey, Julius, chill.
Chill,
man.
Who's doing that now? You know who's doing that right now? Emmanuel Quickly. I see Emmanuel Quickly as the only person who would, just me watching the game. I don't know who else is doing it, but as far as I know, Emmanuel Quickly is the only one standing up to Julius. Like, nah, I feel like, yo, that was the right read. If I want to make the pass to this dude, I feel like that's my decision to do that. If I want to take the shot, I'm gonna do that. And you know, Julius, if you don't get the last shot, or if he feel like you making the wrong read, he's gonna tell you about it. But I think that Emmanuel Quickly, I was one of those people who was frustrated with him as far as him taking the crazy 3-point shots, contested 3-point shots. But yeah, I think that he's growing. You know what I mean? I think he's developing. And I feel like he could be that person on the team. As far as his leadership roles, you know, he could be a facilitator. He's not a natural one, but he could be one. So with that said, if we do keep Julius on the floor, I think it would behoove us to make sure that we keep Quickly on the floor to regulate Julius to a degree, because I don't see anybody else standing up to him.
I kind of seen RJ kind of towards the middle of the season. When RJ started to get the ball in his hands, I think a lot of it was, you know what, screw this dude. Because I think RJ at the eventually kind of got into it, was kind of like, you know what, I'm a part of this too. And seeing as kind of you seen that last season with Julius, RJ deferred a lot more to him. I think this year he kind of was like, you know what, this guy don't have it like he did, and went on and is more on his own. And you kind of see him standing up to him a little bit. I just think there's a lot of tension in the locker room, and it wasn't there the year before. And kind of Tibbs mentions it with the social media and other players and stuff. So I do think that they tamper with the team a little bit too much, which to me isn't a good thing. If you have to make sure you have to keep the right people around Julius emotionally at all times, it's not really a good thing to be building around him if you have to watch what players you put around him. But I think to an extent they kind of mess with the roster, and they took away some pieces that kind of filled holes that 4th seed season. Like a lot of the defensive holes we had, Reggie Bullock filled. And I think when you separate that and you put Fournier in there, it was better offensive move, but defensively it just wasn't there. And as he said, towards the leadership point, I think Reggie Bullock was a big part of that. But I don't know what's going to happen with Julius down the road. I hope he can kind of figure it out to some extent. So I don't know if they do keep him, at least they could work, or if they do want to trade him, at least he'll have some value. But I don't know what to think of Julius right now.
Joe, I think
it's confusing because you know he can ball out. Right. That's the thing. We've seen it.
But I think that's what you get when you have people on separate timelines, right? Like when you legit have players on different timelines at different paths in their career, right? Like for instance, Taj and Derrick Rose probably were just glad to still be in the NBA. They could still ball, and they still playing for the Knicks because they are legit just want to play ball, right? They already been down that road. They already been through the playoff battles. They know Tibbs. They know each other, all this stuff. But the guys that are middle-aged, so to speak, in NBA years, the guys that are between, say, 27 and 33-ish, 34-ish, they want to win championships, bro, because they know that window they know it's hard winning an NBA title, right? But Joe, look, I want to show you something. Hey, Don P, can I make you laugh real quick?
Yeah,
I want to pull something up on the screen. I want to pull something up on the screen to make you laugh, right? And I know you're not a stat guy. But I want to show you this so this can lead into a conversation that you and I can have about value. What I have on the screen is Emmanuel Quickly's career numbers versus Jalen Brunson's career numbers, right? And basically what it comes down to is in 142 games from Quickly and 277 games from Brunson, their career scoring average is 11 points a game. Yet, and here's the big yet. Yet the Knicks are willing to pay Jalen Brunson $27.5 million a year, as opposed to letting Emmanuel Quickly develop in that role. What I want to talk to you about is the on the court perspective, not the numbers. I'm only showing numbers for perspective, right? So that people won't fly to the moon. Don, you know how you start saying something and then people in the chat just fly to the moon? You're like, they ain't even what I'm talking about, man. Just don't go to the moon. Just hear me out.
Oh yeah.
Right. So what I just put on the screen is parameters for a conversation, right? If these two dudes are having a similar career, why don't you give Quickly a chance to do it as opposed to paying another man $27.5 million?
That was my whole argument. That's my whole argument. But what I tend to realize is this: like, you got people who and it's not about who's smarter, who's dumber. It's not even about that. It's just different perspectives. You got people who see the forest for what it is, and then you got people who see the forest beyond the trees.
Right.
And sometimes people can't mesh with their perspectives when it comes to things like that. So if I'm talking to you and I'm telling you somebody like such and such is a better player, you're gonna pull up the stats. How is he a better player?
Right.
And then I gotta ask you, okay, how many minutes does the dude have? How many minutes does he average? What position does he play? What's the system that he plays? You see what I mean? So I see what you're saying. I'm all for quickly. I'm all for us developing quickly for cheap. I'm not sure Brunson is going to give us that much more than what quickly is projected to give us in that season.
Right.
That's it.
Right. And
I think I kind of disagree with that. I think Brunson brings a lot more to I like what I come from is like in 4 or 5 years, quickly could be at what Brunson or better is. But right now, I think Brunson's way ahead. I think the idea is for them trying to win now instead of waiting for quickly and have quickly. It's a 6-man keep developing. But I agree where it's my fear is now, as we talked about there with the timeline, that they at some point might jump this timeline forward to Randall and an older timeline then instead of bringing it back and getting rid of the older guys to keep it with the young guys. That's my fear because they're too eager to win now.
That's the sum of everybody's fear right now. If you're a Knicks fan, the sum of all fears is that these dudes are going to scrap this development and try to win now in the same blueprint as all the other guys that were in their seats and they wind up getting fired for doing it. You know how everything started off nice? Like, oh, man, listen, we traded for Derrick Rose. Remember Phil Jackson traded for Derrick Rose? And we're like, oh, man, we got Derrick Rose. Oh, we signed Joakim Noah. Oh, man, we signed Courtney Lee, too. You know what I'm saying? Remember that? We're like, oh, man, we might be able to do something here. And
every word you said there, Freezy, was signed. Nothing was ever, oh, look who we drafted. It's look who we paid. Look who we overpaid. Look who we bought off somebody else.
Right. No, I was going to get to the other regime, though. Because I was going to get to the Steve Mills regime. Like, oh, man, listen, we drafted RJ Barrett. Now we got Mitch, Knox, Alonzo Trier, Kadeem Allen, Damian Dotson, Frank Ntilikina. Look at this young core. Look at this young core we got. Right? And where's half of that young core at right now?
Don't forget Emmanuel Mudiay.
and Boutier. Yeah.
Shout out to Boutier, man.
Mario Hezonja was in there at one point too. I think we had the whole the biggest lottery busts.
And Hezonja and Troy Williams.
Did y'all say Boutier?
Boutier. Yes.
So let me ask you, what's RJ's game? What's his game when all else fails?
Go to the basket, get fouled, miss free throws.
Who else does that? Wasn't it Mudiay doing that?
Mudiay used to do that too. And then they taught him the counter move. They taught him the counter move where you go to the rim and then you stop and then you reverse pivot and shoot from the free throw line. Remember that? Man, he did that. Who was the champs when Mudiay taught? Mudiay taught the NBA champs one time. Who was the champs?
It was the
Golden State.
They taught
the Buccaneers, the Warriors.
Yeah.
He killed the Grizzlies too.
Yeah.
The Hawks. Mudiay did that.
Yeah, he had some big games.
Yeah.
See, but that's the reason why I'm not saying that I'm low on RJ. Again, when you look at stats, it's deceiving. But when you look at RJ's game and you look at all the Knicks that came before him, and you see this body type and everything, they play just like how RJ plays.
Right.
Why is he untouchable?
That's why they want
his heart. I think he's a different animal. I think he wants it more, and there's a work ethic there. But I think the lack with RJ, as I said it before, I think the organization might have stepped him back a little bit by lack of ball handling and early, like Ja Morant and these guys. Like Ja Morant didn't. You've seen flashes, but he didn't have a pretty rookie year. Like he got his year 2, year 3. That's where he shined. Like last year, he shined, but he got to work through the kinks early in his rookie year. RJ got the ball in his hands halfway through his 3rd season because the team decided, we're not good enough. So that's where the difference with RJ is, and I think there's more potential there. But RJ there's a lot more work he has to do for him to be anywhere near what we want him to be. And as I said it yesterday, and people disagree with me. Hinton Griff disagreed with me yesterday. I was like, as of right now, it looks like he might have been the 5th or 6th best player in that draft.
Who, RJ?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can make an argument. I mean, I hate the word
Garland was
untouchable.
an all-star this
Yeah.
year. You could argue too, Zion might have dropped down that list too because he hasn't played. But
See, that's the thing when I don't understand when people say upside. RJ, he could work on his fundamentals. You know, he could be a better free throw. He could have a better free throw percentage. He could shoot better from the three. He could be more efficient when driving to the lane. All of those is fundamentals. What are we talking about when we talking about potential?
well, I think RJ would average 24, 25 a game last year if he hit his free throws.
Yep.
So he averaged 20 while hitting like 67% or 70% or something from the free throw line.
Yeah.
I think did he even shoot 70% Freezy? Was it 60 something?
Yeah, 71. I think it's 71.
Oh, 71. Oh, he got better. Okay, because I know at
Yeah,
one point he was shooting like 67%
right
from the free throw line. So that's the thing. He hits his free throws because look at Jimmy Butler's strong. He's built. He goes to the cup. That's where he gets his points is the mid range and the cup. Timely buckets. But he gets to the free throw a ton. And that's what RJ's game's going to have to be built off of is between the mid range and getting to the free throw line.
And I don't think that's fair to RJ to compare him to somebody like Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's work ethic is insane.
Crazy.
Yeah, obviously he has to get to that work ethic to be like insane like Jimmy. But what I'm saying is like if he's going to have that, I'm saying like his path is a Jimmy Butler type career where he's going to get his buckets and his numbers from inside and get into the line 20 times a night.
Right.
That's
Hey,
a
and
lot.
He has
That's
strength. He
lofty,
has the
man.
skill to do it. He just needs to use his strength more and use to get to the right hand and get more crafty.
Crafty is the word. And then here's the other thing too that I wanted to mention about Jimmy Butler, right? At 230 pounds. Now, mind you, Mitch in his prime weighed 240 and is a half a foot taller than Butler, right? Jimmy Butler at 232 pounds is shredded. RJ Barrett at 214 looks bulky, right? He looks muscular. Jimmy Butler at 232 is ripped at 232, right? Right? Because they're the same height, 6'6.5", 6'7". They're the same height. You know what I'm saying? Right? But Jimmy Butler outweighs RJ Barrett by 17 pounds.
Straight muscle.
And looks physically smaller than RJ Barrett. Right? Think about that. Jimmy Butler outweighs Obi Toppin by 8 pounds. Think about that. Think about how big Obi looks. Jimmy Butler outweighs him by 8 pounds.
And I know for a fact he's stronger than Obi. And I like Obi.
Oh, shit. You ain't gonna bet me.
Jimmy Butler's stronger than most power forwards.
Yes.
Jimmy Butler's more stronger than half the guys in the NBA. You don't realize it because he's 6'6". He ain't 7 foot. But when you mean weight wise and built, like Jimmy Butler probably outlift more than half the guys in the NBA. Like he's probably LeBron James strong, just of his height.
Right.
Like Jimmy's a tank.
Right. See, let me address Billy Goat. He said it took Jimmy Butler 5 years to get going in the NBA, but Jimmy Butler came into the NBA being able to defend everybody's best player from the jump.
From jump, he just couldn't score.
Jump.
And he was 30th pick. He was the last pick in the first round.
Right.
He wasn't third overall.
And then he was supposed to be. You remember he was supposed to be Tony Snell's backup. Remember they had Bobby Portis, Tony Snell, Jimmy Butler. What's the other young kid they had? I think Markkanen was gone. I think they got Markkanen in the Butler deal, right? But they had a bunch of dudes, and Jimmy Butler climbed the depth chart and became the alpha. Remember him and Wade was trying to take over the team from Rondo? Anybody remember that?
Right.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, I'm telling you, man.
That's why and I'm not hard on RJ. I just think it's not fair to compare him to somebody.
I'm hard on RJ, bro. RJ Barrett, get in the gym, man. Listen,
I believe
6'6", 214. You 6'6", 214, right? And
you need to get up to 220.
And he's been there for 2 years.
Yeah, he need to
you need to be getting 220, 225, RJ, if you're going to get in this league, because he doesn't have the athleticism and the quickness, so he has to get stronger.
Right. You have to have a strength, right? Because if quickness is not your strength, then strength has to be your strength. You know what I'm saying?
So what do you call a point guard who averages 8 assists and 6 turnovers? What's that to you?
It depends on the circumstance, man. Because I mean, is he playing with bums, averaging 8 assists? You know what I'm saying? Because it takes two people to create assists. Sometimes it takes two people to create a turnover too. So I guess it depends.
See, and that's but when you look at the stats, it tells you, all right, he got 8 assists, 6 turnovers. That's not efficient enough. So when I look at players who score, if you're gonna tell me a dude scored 20 points per game, I'm looking at his efficiency. If you're gonna tell me a dude is averaging this many assists per game, I'm looking at his turnovers. I feel like we can't hide behind stats. We cannot hide behind.
You got to watch what you're seeing, and I think that if we can't base it just on stats, but let's be real about the Knicks, man. We had a poor shooting basketball team. Outside of Derrick Rose and Obi Toppin, I want to say everybody else is below league average.
Yo, Freeze, you want to pull up the backcourt numbers again?
It was like how does Alex Burks have a higher 3-point percentage than Phil? Why do they do that at?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure his 3-point percentage I think was higher than his field goal, but how you
higher
do that?
three than 2.
That's
odd.
Yeah.
I think it's the way the game is being played. Nobody's not really taking mid-range jumpers.
Ooh.
I mean, that's just what it is. Like, again,
but you Quickly can make them. He just don't like. Emmanuel Quickly has the base talent to be a Damian Lillard type scorer. As far as his base talent, he can shoot from 3 all the way out to the logo. He can finish when he drives.
Right.
And he can shoot from the mid-range. Like, Quickly, man, and Cam Reddish to a lesser extent. Cam Reddish and Emmanuel Quickly were top 5 in the league in free throw percentage.
Right.
Okay.
You can't do that if you can't shoot. Now, Emmanuel Quickly shooting 90+ from the free throw line. He can score at the cup. He can shoot the mid-range off the pick or off the bounce when he wants to. Is no reason that kid shouldn't be able to average 20 points in his prime. Like, there's no reason. He can stop and pop from 3-point line, mid-range. He got the floater game. We've even seen him dunk the ball a couple times. So, I mean, if they wanted to give him a shot, I wouldn't be opposed to it. But we got, like, if you pull up the list, we need some names off that list. We got to find a way.
We do, but does it have to be at the point guard since Emmanuel Quickly is projected just by analysts to score 20 points per game if he's averaging 30 minutes per game?
Like, but you know what, though? Yeah. He played his best next to a point guard.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Quickly played his best, not just in college, and at both college and pros. Guess who he played next to? Maxey in college, Rose in the NBA. And to me, that's an asset for Emmanuel Quickly to be able to play on the ball as a point guard and off the ball with a point guard.
And that's why some Knicks fans are worried about, with Brunson, what happens to Quickly. I think Quickly, if he puts in enough of work and gets a little bit better defensively, he'll have no problem playing next to Brunson next season as long as he can do enough defensively.
So y'all telling me
because offensively is no problem working. The two of them could actually be something special to watch offensively because it takes that pressure off of Quickly. He can go back to just putting up buckets.
Yeah.
Oh no, go ahead, Freeze, my bad.
Oh, I was gonna say, don't forget that at Kentucky, Maxey and Quickly played off the ball, and their starting point guard was a guy named Ashton Higgins. Right, Ashton Higgins was the point guard, and they moved Ashton Higgins out of the lineup and made Quickly the starter. But before their first game, the season was canceled by COVID. That's the only reason why Quickly didn't start at Kentucky at point guard, because Quickly for what he brings to the table has better court vision than Tyrese Maxey. But what it doesn't look like that's the case because Maxey is surrounded by better players. See, because Maxey can throw a bad pass to Joel Embiid, and Joel Embiid can make something happen. If Quickly throws a bad pass to Nerlens Noel, it's a turnover. you know what I'm saying? And I would say Julius Randle and Tobias Harris are about even. You know what I'm saying in terms of production. I would give Randle the upper hand on Tobias Harris, but I'm a Knicks fan. right? So people will say, of course you're going to choose Randall over Tobias Harris. You're a Knicks fan, right? Joe, here's a question that I want to ask you, right? Here's a question that I want to ask you. Why wouldn't you trade Nerlens Noel to Philly for Matisse Thybulle?
Ooh.
Philadelphia ain't doing that.
Yeah, they
For
would.
Thybulle?
I heard he's available. I heard he might be available.
For Noel?
He's available because
I give him a draft pick or two.
Yeah, because for all the defense he brings to the table,
Stud.
he provides no offensive help, and that's why Philly can't win in the playoffs. Because even though he's an elite defender, he provides no offense at all.
I got a fair swap. Him and Nerlens Noel, they're the same type of player. Defensive, no offense.
Right.
But then at least Thybulle brings that length on the wing. Because what is Thybulle? He's a 2-3, right?
Yeah, he's a 6'4", 2'3".
Defensively, he's a 1 through 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he does it all defensive.
He's a 1 through 5 defensively, man.
He is a one-man zone defense, bro. That's how good he is defensively. He can guard everybody on one side of the court.
Would you try and consolidate and give them, say Cam and Noel in a pick? Because Cam's out the door somehow, and we got to pay him. And his defense stuff with Tibbs. Then at least you bring in Thybulle in. Tibbs will play him just because that elite defense alone. So you're consolidating and you're getting elite defensive talent, which we lacked last year at points in the season.
Let me. I'm gonna pull up Philly's roster, right, and then I'll tell you what trade I would do, right? Let me pull it up real quick. Just be patient with me. I'm on the Matisse Thybulle train, bro. I would love to get him, right? Let me see. NBA. All right, NBA, Philadelphia. What's Philadelphia? Wow, they are so top heavy salary wise. Yeah, I tell you what I would do. I would do Matisse Thybulle and DeAnthony Melton for Evan Fournier.
No, they just traded for DeAnthony Melton, didn't they? On draft night?
They did. Yeah, I think. Oh, was it draft night? Yeah.
But don't they have another Melton, right? Another guard?
No, they have Shake Milton.
Oh, Shake Milton. Okay.
Yeah. So I would do what it takes to get Thybulle. I would even consider trading Taj, bro. I would trade them. I would trade them ties so Philly could cut them.
Yeah, they save money.
Yep. So they can save money on their cap. That's what I would do. I would trade.
I didn't even realize Taj could be a trade chip that way. They could get a second for him if some team wanted to save money.
Right, but the Knicks won't do that, bro. You see the first.
They want to save the money themselves. They don't want to take salary back then for Taj.
But this organization, in my opinion, hated Kemba Walker. That's why the first opportunity they got, they shipped his ass out of town.
I wonder what happened. They loved him when they got him.
But God, they did Kemba dirty, man.
Kemba Walker only makes $9 million, man. Kemba Walker does not make double-digit. Kemba Walker makes less than Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel, but they had to get his ass out of here, bro. Sorry about cursing, y'all. Sorry about cussing, y'all.
No, you're good.
But they had to get him out of here, bro.
I wonder what happened, bro. Something must have happened because they had no problem giving up 4 second-round picks because they could have picked up. To me, would have made more sense if you couldn't trade Derrick Rose back to them for the 4 second and clear $14 million rather than the 9. So something must have happened with Kemba that he was the first one gone when they got the shot.
First thing smoking, bro. As soon as they had the opportunity to move a player, the first player they moved was Kemba Walker.
With picks.
Let me ask you one more. Had Kemba Walker been healthy, you think he would have been a right fit for us?
Say that one more time.
Had Kemba Walker been healthy, you think he would have been a right fit for us?
I don't think he'd be coming to the Knicks if he was healthy.
No, if he was healthy, he wouldn't even came here. And then secondly, just to entertain the question though, say if Kemba got miraculously healthy once he got here, I think Kemba's mindset and this team were like two ships passing in the night. One dude is a former All-Star that was the man for his team that thinks that he can recapture the magic. And then the Knicks are a 70% youth movement team that want to develop, be relevant, and make the playoffs at the same time while accumulating assets. And we all know that you can't do all four things at once.
So here's the next question. That's a follow-up. When healthy, who's better, Kemba Walker or Jalen Brunson? I'm talking about healthy Kemba Walker.
Brunson.
Who's better than Kemba?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brunson because Brunson, I think Brunson does things to benefit. Okay, so Brunson takes his shots within the offense. Kemba Walker is a ISO, primarily ball handling, ball dominant player. If that makes sense.
Yeah, Kemba wasn't really efficient. He was a bucket getter. He was a highlight reel. Was a ball player, but never he concentrated to winning. Like you look at Jalen Brunson, he's not as flashy, but like he's efficient. He's had like for a 6'1" guard to shoot 51 or 50 and 51% from the field in back-to-back years is unreal at his size.
That's incredible. Yeah,
but you know what's so amazing about Brunson?
He's been doing that in college, and he's won. He's in the Western Conference Final. He won 2 chips with Villanova. Like he's won.
But you know what? The fact that he's 6'1" with no hops and finishes so well in the basket, that's unreal.
I'm serious.
He was at the top of the league and finishing at the basket. Dude, 6'1" with no hops.
That's
yeah,
like
he finishes as efficiently as Jokic. It was Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis, 3 MVP level big men, and he finished at around the same radius as them, like a 90 percentile at the rim. It's crazy, but that's what fears me with this fit with Mitch and with Randall is the kid is efficient at the cup, but he needs to get to the cup, and we have spacing issues already, and he lacks to hit the 3.
Y'all remember Trevor Booker? The dude who lost like both of his ACLs?
Who was that?
Trevor Booker.
Oh, yeah. I remember him as a player.
How he was known for grabbing rebounds despite not being able to jump like that?
But yeah, that's why fit-wise, Brunson, in a sense, is exactly what the Knicks need. They need somebody that can attack the cup, finish at the cup. But like it was just said, if you got Mitch and Randall right there in the lane,
and RJ
in the mid post, where is he going to attack? He's not like Dallas where they can put a Bertans or
Dwight Powell,
right in the corner.
Keebler.
Right.
His guys are being guarded in the stands. He is spacing all over the place there with Dallas. Like you watch the playoffs. To me, watching a Knicks game and watching a Dallas game in these playoff games is crazy because I just like how much space is in the paint. When you watch the Knicks, everybody's in the paint. Right. And that's one issue that they have to kind of fix a little bit is kind of trying to get more spacing on the floor. Like you need to get more wings. More shooting wings.
And that's why Ian Begley made a good point. Ian Begley made a great point. Ian Begley said the New York Knicks acquiring Brunson and asking him to do something different than what he's done in Dallas will be a mistake.
Yes.
It will be a big mistake. Because here, the point guard here is going to have to be able to control the pace, control the flow of the offense, direct the flow of the offense, and then also be able to tell guys, get your ass out the lane. You know what I'm saying? I got to switch. I'm about to cook this switch. Get out of the lane. Our guys, Randall won't even touch screen so we can get a switch. So it's going to be a different
Brunson could do that, Cash. Brunson could do that. That's why they ain't so high on Brunson. What's up, Kafrizi? What's up, panel?
What's up, y'all?
What's up, chat?
What's good?
What's going on, Kafrizi? All this hating on Brunson. What's going on?
Hey, y'all. Hey, the way y'all bigging up Brunson, he might be worth more 25 mil. He may be worth 30 mil. The way y'all bigging him up.
And let me tell you something what Bronson could do. Bronson, like you said, Cash, he could get everybody in their sweet spot. He got good court vision, good IQ. We need guys like that on the basketball team. And you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Let's keep it real, man. Look what he did when Luka was out. When he was out. He carried that team. He carried down his team.
He did. But CWC,
what did Emmanuel quickly do when RJ and Julius Randle was out?
Oh.
I'm not saying IQ didn't do nothing. He did his thing. But you gotta understand that West is heavy over there, man, with point guard.
Okay.
But the thing about the Dallas situation, CWC, he was surrounded by shooters, bro. He was surrounded by shooters from all the way down to the center position.
So
and
I think he's doing the right thing going after Brunson, though, man.
So let me get this straight. Brunson can shoot.
Sometimes we have to overpay to get a guy. A lot of people in the NBA is overpaid, and some people is not getting paid like they should. And you know, New York got a lot of taxes too. So you gotta think about that too.
And look, it's a weak free agency class. He's one of the bigger names up there when Harden and Kyrie's out there now. But before Kyrie was in conversation, like he was the second or third name out there as a free agent. It's just a weak class, and that's what happens. Guys get paid off a weak class.
And we out here debating over ham sandwiches with no mayo. While the Nets talking about trading. The Nets talking about trading one of the greatest players that will lace them up, and we out here with ham sandwich and no mayo.
Right.
Hey, Brunson gonna be that Subway when he comes through. When he comes to the Big Apple, he gonna be that Subway sandwich. It seemed like, check this out. It seemed like this cause.
Go ahead, big dog.
It seemed like just because we didn't get our guys in the draft. See, I wanted Johnny Davis. Uncle Freezy, who you wanted? Ivy, right?
Yes.
So we couldn't get him. If we could have got Ivy, right, we would have to give up Obi, Quickly, and two other guys. Come on, man. We ain't going that far for no rookie, man. He ain't established himself in the NBA. We don't know what he could do on the court yet.
Hey, CWC, look at this stuff.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Look, Brunson, he established what he do.
Oh, Brunson is established, right?
Come on, man. Y'all see what he did in the playoff. Y'all see what he did in the playoff. So I don't know why a lot of people hating on him, man. Like, yeah, he's short, but he could ball.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
You
he lacking on defense a little bit, but he tried. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be a warrior. You gotta be a dog, man, on the basketball court.
You said Brunson.
That's all I'm saying. Show some guy respect, man.
All right.
That's what we need. We need guy IQ. Like in the fourth quarter, you know how the New York Knicks be passing it to each other? Like, who wanna take the shot? What is y'all doing? 5 seconds on the clock. Come on, man. Put the ball in Brunson's hand. He's gonna take it to the hole, or he'll give the guy a good shot, a good open shot.
So Brunson,
Colin Sexton can do the same thing.
Who can do the same thing?
Colin Sexton can do the same thing with the game on the line.
Okay. What Sexton at now?
Still on Cleveland.
Thank you. You have to be on the court to do the right thing. You can't be on the bench. I know everybody get hurt, but come on, man. This guy wasn't hurt. He was balling.
Yo, what's good, panel?
Like I say, everybody get overpaid in the NBA, and a lot of people don't get paid in the NBA.
This is breaking news.
Look at me. You would get paid $1.9 million or something like that, and Kevin Knox would make it $9 million or something. Come on, man.
Kyrie's
what we talking about here?
So that means KD probably gonna stay. He picked up his option.
Wow.
AD said we arguing about ham sandwiches, no mayo. That's tough, man. That's tough, man. That's tough.
Eat tuna milk.
Yeah.
I want to make this straight. So what you guys are saying is Brunson can shoot. He can shoot the three. He can defend. He's a floor general. You basically telling me he's like CP3. No, right? Is that what you guys telling me?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying everything is yet to be determined. I'm saying let's wait and see on everything.
And I think that he's better than the point guards that we have, at least. To say that, I would say that he's better than the point guards that we do have.
Okay.
Kemba Walker, how much better skill wise?
I think he is above IQ.
Yeah, of course.
D Rose is above because of injuries. I would say that. I mean,
but how much above? Like, is he 25 mil, 30 mil above? Like,
I mean, but you gotta look at the landscape of how people getting paid now. Like, remember how we was complaining how Tim Hardaway Jr. got paid?
Oh yeah.
So,
Mills paid him.
I mean, like that's just how when the money go up, that's how the contracts go. So that 100 mil might look what it is. I'm not saying give him 100 mil, but I just understand that that's just how it is now. That might be a common contract for a B-level player at this point, C player. Like it's just how it is.
A good starting point guard, you're gonna have to pay between 20, 30 million. There ain't no way around. And I'm just saying the situation in New York City with the heaviest jersey in the association, without being surrounded, we need him to be the man. We need him to play like he did in the playoffs. We need that for 82 games. Point blank period.
That's true, but you also gotta hope that other players take a step. This is the year that RJ needs to take a step. He needs to be the man.
Absolutely.
So we can't put it all on Brunson. It also got just because he got the money. If you're gonna keep Randall, you gotta play like the $100 million man. If you're gonna keep if you got RJ, he better play. This is year 4. You better play.
Yeah. No excuses, man.
Hey, can I say something real quick, guys? Hey, say we get Brunson, right? And we got Quickly and McBride coming off the bench. If Derrick Rose still here, he'll be the third tier. You know what I mean? We got firepower in the starting lineup if Brunson come with RJ and Randall, and then we got our bench with IQ and McBride and Toppin.
If Brunson's coming, McBride's going back to the G League.
No, and Brunson ain't coming by himself. I hope y'all know that, right?
No, but what I'm saying, well, I don't know that Brunson's coming. I'm nearly 100%. If he doesn't come, it'll be disaster because what they've already. It's the way it's lined up. They have all the information. They just clear cap for him. So if he doesn't come, it's a mess. But what I'm saying is, if he comes in, McBride's probably going to the G League because then Quickly's going to back him up. Rose might get moved.
But I'm not mad. I ain't mad at that because I think McBride was played by force. I don't think he was ready to play. Like, I think if Derrick Rose was hurt, I don't think that McBride would have got any minutes anyway.
Yeah, not me either.
So
let's be real. It's a Miles McBride on every roster, man. Every roster got a Miles McBride, man.
Like, I like Miles McBride, but I don't like when people
Man.
Hey, check this out. Say we don't get Brunson, right? Who y'all other options?
No. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Don't say that because.
Hey, no, I'm just coming with a plan B, guys.
No, the plan B is that CWC will be the team president of the New York Knicks.
You ain't lying.
No.
Because if they don't get Brunson, everybody getting fired.
Man.
Period. Y'all trade out a lottery.
Hey, they ain't went to that Dallas game for nothing, right?
Well, Dallas can offer a 5th year. So here's the question. The city of Dallas, the state of Texas, no state taxes, right? We know New York can tax you to hell. If Dallas offers you 5 years for $125, and New York offers you, let's
4
say,
years, $110.
4 years, $110. Come on, man. What makes more financial sense? Who got the better?
There's no way in hell Dallas is offering him that. Dallas is just a waiter delivering the ham sandwich to the Knicks. Like, hold on to that. Keep Keep your receipt.
I'm not gonna lie. I think
at the register, there's a sign: no refunds, no Roger, no refund, no rent.
I think Brunson would fit if we move Randall. I think it'd be a better fit without Randall. I think that a running Obi would look better with Brunson, or pick and roll with Obi would look better than a non-screener like Randall.
Let me offer y'all this. Let me offer y'all the weirdest alternative that y'all heard since this offseason has started. Right? What if the Knicks just go young? What if they don't sign him? And what if they do trade Randall and these vets? What if they allow Obi, Grimes, Quickly, RJ, Reddish to just play it out?
I would love it.
That. I'm cool with that.
I would do that too. I would love it.
Does anybody and so I just want to offer this alternative. I'm going to add some details to it, right? I just want to add some details to this, right? So what if the Knicks just go young, and they say that young team goes 30 and 52, right? And when I say 30 and 52, I'm thinking that they're totally overachieving to go 30 and 52. Totally overachieving, right? That means Obi has taken the next step, Quickly has taken the next step, McBride has taken the next step. RJ hits his free throws.
I think we can make the playoffs.
Yeah. And so I'm offering this alternative to the conversation because ultimately, I think there is a world where the Knicks clear cap space and still don't get Brunson and still don't get a free agent because remember, at the end of the day, this is still New York. This is still New York. Now, free agents don't line up and come here, right? But here's the thing I'm offering. The Knicks go get a bad contract from a team like say Philadelphia. Say after we move these bad contracts, right? Say Philadelphia gives us Tobias Harris, Matisse Thybulle, and 2 picks, right? And I know that sounds like a lot, right? But when you consider the fact that the Knicks are taking on Tobias Harris's contract from hell, like Tobias Harris legit is the Sixers' second highest paid player, right? We take that contract, right? They're over the salary cap. So for his Tobias Harris makes
30 plus.
He makes $37,633,050. Right, he's 22.38% of their salary cap, and he's good for 3 more seasons. So say the Knicks take on for every year that we have Tobias Harris, we get their first round pick, right? And then we take on Matisse Thybulle, right? Would y'all rather do that? Take on Tobias Harris, 3 first round picks from Philly, and Matisse Thybulle, or go get Jalen Brunson?
Go get Jalen Brunson.
I'd rather take on Tobias Harris.
How about this, Uncle Pete?
I'd rather Brunson.
You're gonna take on Freezy. You're gonna take on Tobias Harris, albatross of a contract. Plus, you still got Randall here with that.
No, AD. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I said you clear out all these. I said you clear out all these veterans. So these young boys can play, right? You clear all. I'm talking about Fournier, Randall, any vet that makes any money. You getting them off the roster right now, right?
Oh, gotcha.
And you clearing the way. You clearing the way for these young kids to play, right? And then you take on Tobias Harris's contract and 3 first round picks. A pick every year that we have Tobias Harris, they got to give us a first round pick for it, and you get Matisse Thybulle, right? And then you play these kids, and then you give these kids the opportunity to play and grow. Would y'all rather that or take on or bring in Malik Monk and Jalen Brunson? Because what's going to happen is you're not going to bring in Brunson by himself. You're going to bring in another free agent. That's a fact. You're going to bring in another free agent to go with Brunson, right? Because you can't bring in Brunson by himself. right? Would y'all consider playing the kids or playing the veterans? Which one do you want?
Kids,
100%.
I got an alternative to that. Because I'm all about making low risk, high reward decisions. If we get Brunson, he's going to be on the most. If he doesn't work out, once again, that's another bad decision for the Knicks. If he doesn't work out, if he does, kudos to him. Kudos to us. How about trading for D'Angelo Russell for his expiring contract?
I'm with you.
That's cool. If it doesn't work, that's money.
That's not bad either.
I'm with you.
That's the same scenario. That's the same scenario. But listen, the thing is with D'Angelo Russell, they got to give us some first round picks because we're not taking on a bad young player on a terrible contract for him to eat up minutes and stunt the development of quickly Grimes and McBride. We don't want to do that.
No unloading of deloading on us.
Right.
None of that.
Never made the playoffs.
Yeah, but who you sending over there? Who you sending over there for D-Lo?
Julius Randle.
Julius Randle. And probably like D-Rose.
Probably like Julius Randle or D-Rose. They need another bona fide scorer next to Edwards and Carton. You feel me?
Yeah, let them deal with the headache.
It's not that D-Lo is a bad fit. They don't think he's a good fit.
Yeah, I feel like it's not enough basketballs for Cat.
Yo, I gotta go. I'll see y'all later. Y'all still be on. I'll jump on. My secretary called.
Hey, see. Oh, all right, boss.
Oh, what's up, Uncle Freezy?
Hey, you still ain't gave me your phone number yet.
My what?
Your phone number. You still ain't gave me your phone number yet. Hey, we've been working on this we've been working on this for like a year and a half.
I'm old school. I don't want to put my phone number in the chat, man.
You got to put it in a private chat, crazy.
What? I don't know.
It says it when you go to the comments.
Okay, hey,
I'm old school, man.
Okay, I'm gonna give you the show phone number, and then I'm gonna give you the show phone number, and then I want you to call me, and then I'm gonna call you from my private phone.
All
right, boss.
All right, Casablanca.
All right,
peace. I'm out.
Y'all want to do that for a final contract? D'Lo on the back average 18-7, 18 points, 7 assists.
Oh, he can sleepwalk. He can sleepwalk to 27-5. He can sleepwalk.
I'm not gonna lie. We could get Brooklyn D'Lo.
Exactly, and he took Brooklyn to the playoffs by himself. He got Brooklyn on
and they won a game, right? They won a game, right?
Yeah. I think so. I'm not sure, but I'm just saying, like, that's wouldn't y'all think that's a low risk, high reward move right there?
Absolutely.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad.
Is Minnesota giving a draft pick with him?
I mean, we got all the first rounders in the world right now. We can afford to give up a first rounder. I mean,
No, are Minnesota giving us a first? Because I'm not taking D'Lo unless they're giving me a first. I'm not giving up a first.
If we trade Randall,
he's expiring though. Yeah, he's expiring though. So is
that really a bad one?
Hey, would y'all consider this? Would y'all consider Derrick Rose and Evan Fournier for D'Lo straight up?
Yesterday.
For D'Lo, they not a bad deal.
You're getting off 2 bad contracts, and we only getting one expiring in return. Yeah, hell yeah.
If we trading a shooting guard that's a scorer, then that's a good move.
Yeah. But they won't take that because people don't like to trade.
They're gonna take that.
But they'll take a Malik Monk and 2 second-round picks for it though from the Lakers. They'll do that.
Julius Randle? How we feel about Julius Randle? That's how they feel about D'Lo. They feel the fan base over there. Most of them want to trade him, but they feel like they're not going to just trade him for cookies or what y'all call ham sandwiches because they feel like he's better than that. That's how some of us feel about Julius Randle.
Mm-hmm. But the reason why he looked like that is.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
I was saying the reason why he looked like that is because Anthony Edwards. There's not enough basketballs going on.
It's not, and then the reason why he also looks like that, and and this is a thing for Don P. This is what me and Don P always like to discuss, right? On the court, you can't knock Russell. Wow, you can't knock the Russell. Taking out this time. Anyway, can't knock the Russell. Anyway, you can't knock the fact that when Russell comes around the screen, this is on the court stuff, right? He kicks out to a player with no hands that is pure athlete, right? And the power forwards that they have, and Vanderbilt and the other young kid. What's the other young kid who got a brother in the league?
McDaniels.
Yeah. D'Lo does all the fundamental point guard stuff, comes around the screen, does all the fundamental stuff. He kicks it to a guy who's not looking for the pass. The turnover goes to D'Angelo Russell. You, as a viewer, are mad at Russell. The coach is mad, at the young power forward for being on the basketball court and not having enough awareness to keep his eyes up for a basketball. Right? So you see the ball go out of bounds, and you're like, "Why? That was a bad pass by Russell." Right? But those that don't know those that know basketball know when the meek side man overcommits on a closeout, and the man in the corner cuts back door, you can't cut and stop. You have to cut and go all the way to the rim because your point guard that just turned the corner reads the overcommit by the defender, and in practice, we practice you cutting to the rim. D'Angelo Russell throws the ball out of bounds. It's a turnover. It looks like Russell just threw the ball out of bounds. Right? It's like you ever watch anybody in here watch Giants football? Any Giants fans?
Oh no, I'm a Jets fan.
Big Blue.
I'm not watching Giants.
Big Blue.
Yo, think about all the times where Evan Ingram is supposed to curl because there's a safety over the top, but Evan Ingram runs directly into the safety, right? Right? Daniel Jones reads the play. He throws the ball short or gets ready to throw the ball short. The ball comes out of his hands, a wobbly duck, because Evan Ingram took off running the seam route against cover 2 when he was supposed to curl. He throws a duck. Daniel Jones throws an interception to some fat linebacker, gives him a Christmas present, right? And then you are like, "Oh my God, Daniel Jones is trash."
Nah.
Right? And it wasn't even Daniel Jones, and it wasn't even Daniel Jones' fault. You practice that all week, you get in the game. Evan Ingram does something different.
And that's why he gone.
That's why he gone. Hey, Joe, I swear to God, me and you are brothers, bro. I said, you notice Evan Ingram is gone, but Daniel Jones is not.
No. I looked at Evan Ingram last year. I wasn't sure, was it him or Nerlens Noel at tight end at times? Same hand.
I thought it was Nerlens Noel, bro. I swear to God, I thought it was Nerlens Noel.
I got some news for y'all.
Okay. Break the news, bro. Break the news.
I just saw that the Spurs and the Hawks is on the verge of making a trade for Dejounte Murray. Wrapped around, you're not even gonna believe this. Wait. Let him finish. A ham sandwich and first round picks. So Gallinari and first round picks, multiple first round picks. And you mean to tell me the Knicks couldn't get into that with something? Gallinari, bro. They probably buy him out anyway.
My question is for the Spurs. You went from negotiating John Collins in firsts to Gallinari in firsts. I'm convinced. And why are they even? I'm convinced they're going after Victor Wembanyama next year.
Yep.
If they're trading Dejounte Murray, they're looking at a complete another tank.
Yep. It's the smart play. Why not?
See,
and that's the second time we letting a backcourt like that.
I want to go to the dude broke the news. Why wouldn't he even? Because we have more capital than the Hawks. Why didn't we do that? Because we
scared. We're scared.
No,
because you won.
The front office believes they can win and then trade up in drafts, which they've tried this year and it's failed. And I wouldn't be surprised if they tried
last year. And they tried last year.
Yeah, and they're going to try it again next year. They're loading up on picks to try and move up for Scoot next year, and we're not going to get there because they're winning too many games.
Right.
Yeah. But where does Dejounte Murray fit in with the Hawks? Because they got Bogdanovic and all that. So
their offensive system is one where if you play Dejounte Murray off the ball, he can do other stuff as the secondary playmaker, right? As the secondary playmaker, DeJounte Murray he could be the primary playmaker in stretches,
and let
Trey get
like
open
Curry.
looks and let Trey get open looks from three.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm saying like playing time because they got 3 or 4 guys there. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Oh, Murray started and playing 30.
Nah, I know he'll start, but I'm only asking because do we try to get in, like, since you got Murray, that makes other players expendable. Do we try to get one of those guys?
Hey, and so what I would offer you is this: if you know the deal going down and you Leon Rose, why don't you jump in the middle? Why don't you do double dutch? Just jump in, right?
Yeah,
and be like, hey, all the bad contracts y'all trying to move, we'll take them on. It's just them first round picks that y'all are shuttling back and forth. Y'all send them to us, right? And I know that kills their wet dream of having Jalen Brunson. And I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Do we take on Gallinari's contract and get first round picks from the Spurs? I think Gallinari's bad contract and say 2 first round picks from the Spurs are worth not having Jalen Brunson.
You know what though, Freezy? I don't think the fan base would be mad if they did that. Because if you're gonna do that, take that stance and then play your young players, I don't think the fan base will be mad because at least we're moving in one direction and we can physically see it and we can make sense out of the plan.
Right.
Like, yeah, that's true. That's true though. But if they was to jump in and pick up Gallinari, right? Obi's not playing because Tibbs gonna be like, oh, Gallinari, you can play. You got some game in you. Oh yeah, you're gonna play.
Nah, but the plan would be all along. As soon as you get Gallinari, you like Gallo. Look, if you start talking that like you want some minutes, we're gonna buy you out.
Yeah, he probably don't want to play it up.
Right. Because the pressure is not to win at that point. The pressure is to develop the kids, make sure they look better, so that not necessarily so we can sign them all long term, so that they become more tradable assets to put you in a better position to take your swing in a couple of years.
Right.
How many years does Gallinari have left on his contract?
They signed him 2 years ago. I want to say 2. Is it 2 years left or 3 years left?
I think it might be an expiring with a team option maybe at the end of it. I think it was a 4-year deal.
And how much money Detroit got too? How much money Detroit got for free agents?
Hold on. You moving too fast. Hold on.
Oh, no, Gallinari. It's something else in that. It's something else in that I just saw with that. Like with New Orleans, with the Hornets too.
Wait. So Gallinari makes 21,450, right? And it's only $5 million guaranteed.
Oh, that's a W for the Spurs.
That's a dub.
That's a W. But see, that's how the elite front offices move, though. That's how they move.
So they could trade for Gallinari. Gallinari now that you look at his contract, Gallinari is an asset.
Yeah, because you can move it. You can move it.
That's why they said no to
you can cut him and stay.
You can just waive him.
Oh, you can.
That's why they didn't want Collins. That's why they're going Gallo. They save the money with Gallo. They just cut him once they get him. Cut the $5 million, save 15 instead of taking John. What's John Collins supposed to make?
He just got.
Y'all moving too fast, bro. Y'all moving too fast. Hold on. Let me find Collins. Collins is $23.5 million for the next. Collins, his contract just starting. He's due $102 million.
My God.
Yeah, I got a question for y'all. We all, if we were desperate to move off Julius, you call Atlanta and say about John Collins, Randall swap. Both guys aren't happy. Both guys,
no, because I want to see Obi.
Because Obi do the same thing Collins does.
His ceiling might be Collins. His ceiling might be
move Collins to Sacramento in that 3 team because Sacramento were interested in the draft. They might still be interested. So what you do is you move Randall to Atlanta, you take Collins, but then you move him to the Kings.
For who?
For picks. I don't know, future picks, young player, whatever.
I'm just preparing myself for John Wall. I'm be honest with you.
I swear to God, if the Knicks,
I'll take John Wall over Brunson.
If the Knicks sign John Wall, bro, I swear to God, bro. I swear to God, y'all gonna have to talk me, or y'all gonna have to talk me.
You know what they're
the
gonna do? They're gonna strike out on Brunson, right? And then they're gonna panic and go to plan X and go and get John Wall the same way they got Kemba off the buyout, and then he's just gonna give him a bar.
Yeah, they're gonna give him 2 years and $9 million, and then they're gonna waste the lottery pick next year.
Yes, I'm just preparing myself. You know what's crazy? Because if he balls out, I would laugh. But still, I don't want it.
Hey, but you gotta understand though, John Wall's been injured damn near most of his career, so he still got a lot of legs left. You know what I mean?
Hey,
I'll take him on a 1 year.
He tore his Achilles. Do he got legs?
I mean, I believe he do. At the very least, I'm confident that he's on the point guard. Yeah. Because when he was with the Wizards and they went to the playoffs a few times and got eliminated in the first round, it was John Wall on bum knees that did it.
On bum knees.
But you know what though?
And
John Wall got the heart, man.
Out of his mind. Yeah, I remember Marcin Gortat.
Yeah, I remember Gortat.
Marcin Gortat playing out of. Remember all the double rebound games he got? You're like, dang, that dude is a monster.
Hey, didn't John Wall get him to an All-Star game? Didn't he get Gortat to an All-Star game?
Yeah.
I think so. I think so. But see, that's the thing. John Wall was the heart and soul of that team. He was the heart and soul of that team, man. And they traded him for Westbrook, and then Westbrook gave him the last of his prime to get them into the play-in towards the playoffs. And now, like Bill, man, he's really going down as a notorious loser. Like, all he worried about is his money, man. That's it.
Yeah. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. When the money that big, bro, hey, man.
Yeah, who
when the money that big, I'm wearing my gold necklace to the game, too.
Yeah, I ain't turning that money. I'll be like, I'll get the money. I'll ask out later.
Yeah. When the money that big, yo, I'm wearing my herringbone. I'm wearing my herringbone to the game also, bro.
Would y'all do Ayton? Would y'all make a run at Ayton?
Absolutely,
bro.
Like a sign it, because with Mitch though, like if you could use him as a sign and trade chip, like if you could try to match salaries with Mitch and Randall to send him over to Phoenix for Ayton.
Bye.
I would do that, and then still probably have money for Brunson, and you come away with Brunson in the free agent, and you sign a trade for Ayton. That's a nice off season right there. I wouldn't.
I would do the double sign and trade draft pick deal, which is the most complicated deal that you can do in the NBA. When two dudes want to do a sign and trade on both sides, that's the most complicated deal that you can make. Because for one, you have to make sure that both players agree to the terms at the same time, right? You got to be Mitch, you ready? DeAndre, you ready? And y'all agree at the same time. And then plus, with that said, you got to make sure that one team has the salary available at the same time. So would I do Mitch to Phoenix for DeAndre Ayton in a first round pick? Yes. And why would Phoenix give up the first round pick? Because we're saving them a ton of money in cap space.
Yeah.
So you can't look at Ayton leaving. You got to look at the cap space that they would gain, plus Mitchell Robinson, plus plus the player that they signed.
Yeah, because you'll be actually paying Mitch half of what you will give Ayton, probably more than half of what you'll be getting. So yeah. So
do y'all know what's so frustrating? We see other front offices do this year after year after year after year, and we always get excuses when it comes to the Knicks.
Right, we cheat. We don't want to do nothing.
Right, and part of it has to do with the fan base. The fan base is like, no, that's a pipe dream. No front office ever does that. No front office ever pays 3 guys 20% of the cap. And then you look at the NBA champs.
Everybody doing it.
The NBA champs did it.
Yeah.
Right. The team that they played did it.
Mm-hmm.
The Dallas Mavericks did it. Mm-hmm. And then when you talk about the Knicks doing it, they're like, no, that's impossible.
Because Knicks, they act like they don't have no money. They act like they have no money ever.
Right.
Pay that luxury
the
tax.
fans act like it's their money, like they have to that they're going out and paying Jalen Brunson out of their own pocket, or they have to write the check. They got to realize, look, this is Dolan's money, and this stuff's going to happen whether we like it or not either.
Exactly.
And Joe, here's the kicker, right? Here's the kicker to it. right? So I go on fanatics.com about once a month and buy Knicks swag, right? Merch, right? Right. The price for the Knicks stuff is ridiculous. Like those Knicks tees, like I got on the Barnes Tears tee today. It cost me $40 to get this made, right? $20 for the shirt, and then $20 for all the pressing and all that stuff on it, right? So I got on a $40 shirt, which if I just got a plain tee, it would have probably been like $8, right? And Knicks stuff, the t-shirts is like $40. A Pat Ewing jersey is $200.
Yes, sir.
Right? And so the thing is, people act like this is Dolan's money. Dolan is going to his private bank account. Nah, the fans are paying for this, bro.
Yeah, this is our money, bro. This is the fans' money.
Well, all of it goes. It's between your the tickets. All of it goes in ESPN revenue. It's one pool, and then a team splits money, and it's cap space and all that. So it's technically it's not Dolan is a certain amount of money on the team, but it's not like he's. It's not like the Yankees back in the day, no salary cap, and Steinbrenner was pulling out a check out of his back pocket and writing. It's not like that with the NBA.
Yeah,
and I do agree
right
with
now.
you. The fans pay for some of it, but a lot of fans, like the way they're talking, is like that it's them exactly themselves paying it. That I don't want this guy because we don't need to spend the money on this. And it's like, listen, it's just just because you're spending that amount of money doesn't mean it's going to be long term. Like they could trade Brunson in 2 years for something else that's better.
Hey, Woodshed, they going crazy with the mic, bro. Woodshed did mute himself, so yeah, the chat is like, yo, mute Woodshed.
Oh yeah, because it's like some noise.
The chat going crazy.
Oh, he good now. Yeah.
But
I get you because I have a shorts that's like $75. Some Knicks home shorts, $75.
$75. I got the same ones. I got the same with $75, bro. And $75 there was $74.99. And then by the time you get it into the cart,
oh yeah, like $90-something.
Yes. Hey, let me holler at my man Anthony A real quick because he's been super patient, man. Anthony A, how you doing, bro?
Yo, man, I'm been great, man. You know, hail to all of you. Pato, shot. I mean, Paris Duggar's going crazy, and Kevin Durant and Shot are going crazy in the chat.
Hey, I love Paris Duggar, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you. I love Paris Duggar, right? And so the reason why I love Paris Duggar is because Paris Duggar legit speak directly to me. Right? He like, Uncle Freezy, you drinking Bud or Bud Light? And I'm like, I can't answer that while the live stream going on. Paris Duggar be like, listen, you can't have it both ways, Uncle Freezy. Like Paris Duggar speaks directly to while everybody it's like an all-out brawl is going on in the chat, and Paris Duggar just like come through the crowd and speak directly to me like, yo, Uncle Freezy, you can't have it both ways. And then he disappeared. I mean, I love the brother, bro. I love Paris Duggar, bro. But Anthony A, what's good? Cash, DJ Cash is in the building. What's good?
I see him there. Hell,
what's up? Hey, y'all allow me the next 5 or 6 minutes to talk to Anthony A and DJ Cash, man. I just want to. I mean, I love these brothers, man. Anthony A look like he's busy doing something. Are you up to mischief?
Nah, man. Actually, I'm hiding out from the wife. I'm around the corner. No, the wife, she's an actress. She's also a vegan chef. So I'm going to get my number. I'm going to shoot you some stuff from her stuff. Yes,
hey, I'm getting a P.O. box tomorrow. I'm getting a P.O. I meant to go get it today, but I had some personal stuff that I had to. Bro, I got so much stuff going on, bro. I think I talked to my wife about getting a personal assistant, and she said, "Hell no." So I got to handle all this stuff myself.
Oh, perfect. She's also an actress, so she's running lines. So I'm the one who got to read the other line. I'm like, I'm not an actor, man. So I served my hour red lines with her. Now I'm like, let me get him. I see Freezy's on, man. I got to go talk to my boy Freezy. So she's like, go ahead.
Go ahead. I know y'all going to talk about them sorry behind Knicks. Go ahead.
Exactly. I heard you mention the Giants, the great New York Giants who ready to rock with in your QB, though. But I was calling about Brunson, man, and Murray. Murray is 1 year away from being a walking triple-double, 20-10-10 guy.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Murray is a game changer, elite athlete in the backcourt. I just don't see how you compare Murray and Brunson on those levels. Paris Duggar was talking about, or was it Milton who said that Brunson, burned Murray last time they played. And
I seen that.
I'm sorry though, but 1-on-1, guard on guard, I'm sorry, it's a team game. I can actually have one player put up 40 and the team loses. I'm not, as long as the fit is right. So I'm not gonna look at those 1-on-1 stats and thinking, oh man, you got burned by him yesterday. Let's look at how did the team do? How did you do with the team? And I think a cat like Murray on the Knicks is a game changer. I think
as soon as Murray gets to a big market, man, it's over.
Man.
He'll be a star if he was in a big market already.
You talking about Murray?
Murray.
Yeah, Murray. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Let me get Cash. What's good?
Yeah, go ahead, Cash.
Hey, what's good, fellas? I like the possibility of Murray, but I don't see that coming to fruition. I think we're hell bent on Brunson right now, and I think that's where the direction that we're probably going. I mean, we've heard enough reports to say. I think what's going to be intriguing is what's going to be the other pieces that's going to go. I don't think it's just going to be a Brunson signing. It's going to be something. It's something else in the pipeline, because again, we have these other players we need.
Cash, what though? Cash, what's in the pipeline, man? Listen, I respect your opinion, and listen, I'm gonna say this to you directly. I want you to see me say this eyeball to eyeball.
All right.
I think you're a smart dude, bro. Mm-hmm. I respect your opinion. You know this, right? Because you get on here and we just let you rock. Right. You know what I'm saying? You be saying smart stuff, and then sometimes it go over our head, and we need some time to catch up. But other times we get it right. It's poignant. It hit us right. It hit different sometimes, right? I'm asking, but listen, other channels ain't gonna do that. Other channels gonna be like, I'm the boss. I want to look smart. Here, it's just a bunch of brothers, a bunch of Knicks fans. We rocking, right? That's why when you talk, man, we just sit here and listen to you, like you the teacher. You know what I'm saying? What I'm asking you is, you got this moment to tell us who that other guy is. Go ahead and say it. Don't drag us along, bro. Who is the other piece that's coming along with Brunson?
I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't know. I really don't know who it is. But this is my I do have a theory. I think that it will be a sign and trade. Now, the average money for a point guard, I'm pretty sure we probably have looked it up by now, because the conversation we talking about, Brunson ain't worth no $20 million. No, you have to base Brunson on market value, and when you look at market value for a point guard these days, it's in the range of $20 million. Right. So that's what he's going to get. So those rumored contract offers you see, he's going to get it. Let's just face it, he's gonna get it, because that's market value. He upped his game during the playoffs, during money time, and so he's gonna be compensated for it. Now, my theory in connection with the whole Brunson, I wouldn't call it a conundrum, but I would call it anticipation, I guess, is.
Hey, hey, Cash, hold on for a second. Sure, it's smelling weird in here. I think the puppy may have done something. I'll be right back.
All right. I think the theory is that Brunson comes in a sign and trade, because we need to move some, a couple of pieces. That Brunson comes in a sign and trade. We trade Julius and Noel, because they need a power forward. And also Dallas needs some rim protection, because they really don't have anybody. They have, you can just go at so it would be Julius and Noel going to Dallas. Brunson would be the main piece coming to us. Now, who's coming with him? Who those auxiliary pieces are? That would be the question that I don't have an answer for. Because it would, basically it would be money, whoever those pieces that can fit. Yeah. But I think that's how the Brunson deal is going to go down. And then there's going to be another free agent signing that probably will be a sign and trade to get rid of some more of our dead weight, so to speak. Well, dead weight, so to speak, like Burks and possibly Fournier. Now, who that deal would be, for what, the parameters of that deal, I don't know. But, the moves that we made on draft night correspond to what's going to take place. I mean, it blew all of us away. Believe me, it took me a minute to wait for the smoke to clear to see what the hell was going on. But now, at this point, we all see it clearly as to what's going on. The money is in the bank for free agency. And so, it's going to be some moves made this weekend coming up for sure. Now, who we all going to get, remains to be seen. I think the Brunson deal's already done. They just sitting in the cut, waiting till it's time to, to put it out.
Legal to announce it. Yeah.
Yeah. We still got to move one more salary first.
But I feel like what I would do too with that is I'll call Detroit again and I'll say, listen, I know y'all was interested in Cam. Let's make a deal. I'll give you Cam and maybe something else, and I'll take Sadiq Bey off you because now he's expendable because of Ivy, and I like Sadiq Bey.
No, they're not giving up Sadiq Bey.
Nah, he'll play the starting tandem of Ivy, Cade, and Sadiq Bey. Sadiq Bey will play the 3.
Yeah, most likely.
Detroit's in game right now, since they were the cream of the crop of the draft. I think they're going all in for Ayton because they have the cap space to do it. And then they're going to say, well, hey, look, we got Cunningham, we got Ivy, we got a dynamic backcourt, we got Bey. All we need is a big man, and we can rock. So I think they're going all in for Ayton. That's their target.
Nah, I don't think so because they just drafted Durant. They just got Durant. I don't think they'll.
Yeah, but he is a couple of years, and I think Detroit want to kind of push the process and kind of start winning now, or at least competing now. And I think Durant is a little bit of time before he's going to be ready.
Exactly.
They're going to look at
but Detroit got money too. What if they go after Miles Bridges? Because I'm seeing that the Hornets might not give him the max that he wants, so he might not sign back there. Now that makes Sadiq Bey expendable if you want to go make a run at Bridges to bring him home, because remember he's from Detroit.
Yeah, I heard that's a possibility for them too, but because of the position, he plays basically like the same position as Sadiq Bey, so I don't know how that would work out structurally for them, but that's their problem. We got to worry about what we got going on the table.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because if they go after Bridges, then I would call about Sadiq Bey. If I find out
they not coming off Sadiq Bey, bro. They love Sadiq Bey.
They're not going to.
They love Sadiq Bey, bro.
Yeah.
Because Detroit is building a team like the 2004 Pistons, just like 10 years younger. Mm-hmm. They got dudes that are tough. They ain't super athletes, right? They're not superb athletes athletically, right? But Beef Stew is in the early stages of being a muscle-bound, super strong defender. The only thing about Beef Stew is his pick and roll coverage is terrible. So Detroit gets murdered in the pick and roll, right? They get murdered in the pick, but not because Beef Stew doesn't play hard. It's because his IQ is not there yet, right? But when his IQ get there, a dude with all that, and all he want to do, man, listen, all he want to do is bang up Mitchell Robinson. All he want to do is bang up Julius Randall. That's all he wanted. His whole goal in life.
LeBron James.
Yeah, and LeBron. Right. The dude is physically and mentally tough. Now, I know in these last few years of Knicks basketball, we hadn't seen mentally tough dudes or physically tough dudes. As a matter of fact, we complain when Julius Randall gets bucked. When Julius Randall was like, "I'm had enough." The bougie Knicks fans that sip their wine with their pinky out, that sit in these high-priced seats, that wear these expensive limited edition alternate Knicks jerseys, have the microphone, right? And it's a bunch of them. Oh, thank you. But
Randall do it at the wrong time though. He'll do it when we down 1 and go get attacked.
I'm from the mindset is I don't care if we up by 1 million. If you punch me, I'm punching you back.
Oh yeah, of course, but he do it course in the game sometimes. They'd be like, bro, that wasn't smart.
Yeah, that was the point I was trying to make earlier when I was talking about him going at the refs. It wasn't. I know every NBA player does that, but what I'm saying is, Randall, like when he gets into one of his moves, he stopped doing the things that he's capable of doing, just because he don't feel like doing it at that time.
Yeah, he quits on the team. That's bad. Like he quit.
Yeah.
Well, Randall's biggest problem has never been his skill set. Randall's biggest problem is mental, in his head, having the right mindset, having the right IQ to know when to do things and when not to do things, and how to go about doing that. If he can improve his IQ, he will become an even better player, because 20 and 10 doesn't mean anything if you can't make anybody better. Perfect example of that, of course, is Michael Jordan, his first 6 years of the NBA. Nobody questioned his ability, what he can do, how many points he can score, this, that, and the other. But when he came to the realization that he needed the rest of his teammates to win and help to make them better and push them along, then of course he got 6 chips. So a lot of the game is of course having the ability, but it's also mental too. The mental, Freezy touched on mental toughness, having the IQ mentally. And so, that's important too in playing this game of basketball, not just basketball, but any sport, any type of sport. You gotta be just as mentally sharp as well as physically.
Randall was like a quarterback. He'll throw the ball out of bounds on purpose at the wrong time. He'll do that just because he ain't get a flag. He'll throw the ball 90 yards. He throwing the play be a slant route. He'll throw the ball all the way to the end zone on purpose. Because he's mad.
I'm supposed to criticize that.
By the way, how confident are you guys? By the way, on this front office, who has not made one great.
I am confident in the front.
Past 2 years.
I am confident in the front office, because now as the smoke cleared with this draft, I see what they're trying to do. But I think it's going to come a point in time that, from what I heard, they did try to make a move, to get Ivy, but it just didn't pan out. But it's going to come a point in time that they're going to have to. They're gonna have to make a boss move.
Yeah, but they talk a big game.
Right,
they talk a big game.
Right, I don't doubt that they have the right mindset, the right plans and goals. It's the execution. They have not executed. Last year they had the right plan as well.
There hasn't been no execution.
Zero. They have not been able to accomplish their goals. Last year's game plan also was smart, but they weren't able to execute it. So my concern is, how confident are you to execute the game plan? No matter how much assets you have, can you accomplish the goal? And I still go back to what I've been saying all year was, I still think there's a certain bias, a certain collusion against Pelinka and Rose, because those guys for the past 30 years, and with agencies, have fleeced them, for every dollar they could get. And now the other GMs are like, oh, now you want us to make a deal with you? I mean, San Antonio should be coming straight to the Knicks right now for those picks.
Yeah, but you know what the Knicks are? You know what the Knicks are, Anthony? The Knicks is like the guy that got the talk, got the look, got everything. But then when it's time to talk to the girl, he starts stuttering. Can't execute. Exactly. Can't get the girl. Can't get the girl. Can't close the deal. That's what the Knicks are.
See where I think with the front office is, but the problem with them, they're trying to have its cake and eat it too, where they want to rebuild and load up on assets, but they want to try and win now, which is the problem. But I don't have a problem with some of the stuff they're doing, because you look at these picks they're accumulating, they're kicking assets down the road, and they're picks that will convey between now and 2027 at good value. and picks that could be traded or selected. I think they're waiting for the right move, and they're not going to make the wrong move. Like, I think them going out just because they have assets and being like the San Antonio, oh, here's 4 first-round picks for Dejounte Murray, I think that's a panic move, because personally, I don't think there's a fit here with him. And he hasn't shown enough. He's only done it for 1 year, kind of like Randall's only done it for 1 year. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of like, they're waiting for something big, and I think that's why they're accumulating assets, because they looked at this draft and it's like, we want Ivy. That's a big splash. They couldn't get him, so they're like, all right, let's kick the can down the road and accumulate for another big move. And I still think that big move isn't coming this season. I think there's Brunson and maybe another small move. I still believe my heart that the big move is next offseason when Donovan Mitchell asks out, and I think that's why they're loading up for it.
But
their problem is for that trade is they're going to have to play young guys for that trade to go through.
Yeah,
they have to show their youth.
Yeah, I'm going to put another one out there too. I'm going to put this name out there. Some of y'all may be familiar with, but he's going to be a Knick. It's all being set up for him to be a Knick. DJ Wagner from Camden High School is going to Louisville, where Kenny Payne is now the head coach. He is destined to be a Knick.
You talking about DeJuan Wagner's son?
DeJuan Wagner's son, yes. Do the homework. He is destined to be a Knick.
Rick Brunson was coaching him down in Camden until now. He's leaving this year. I think he leaves. He's coming out in 2024, correct?
Yep, 2024.
Yeah.
He will be.
Yeah, he's probably. So you're gonna have to, for him, you're gonna have to guarantee you're getting number 1 or expecting to load the hell up to get trade up to number 1, because I think that's where he's gonna go in that draft so far. I think that's the projections.
Yeah, if his stock is too high, then we may not get him.
He's going. I think in that draft eventually, if he doesn't go number 1, I think he's definitely going to go top
number
5.
1. We not getting.
Let me tell you something.
We better not have the number 1
pick.
pick.
That's a line for him not to go. Too many connections to New York, to the Knicks. So I don't know, but that's one name to look out for, definitely. Scoot Henderson, I don't know if we have a shot at getting him, because everybody's going to be on him. He's definitely.
Well, I think Scoot Henderson's more realistic because it's next year. Yeah. I don't think they want to go bad next year and be bad again to go for Wagner the following year. You know what I mean? Because they're going to have to. They're going to have to be tanking or in that conversation for a top 5 to get at Wagner.
Yeah. Well,
so I think they have more of a chance of getting a top 5 pick this year than the following year.
Yeah. Tanking is not a guarantee for number 1, because we should have had a number 1. And well, we know how that.
But you have to be kind of in that range of the top 5, top 6 to get in that jump. You know what I mean? You're not going to really jump from like 11 or 12 where we've been.
I don't want to be in that range. They changed the lottery rules.
Why do we want to even try to acquire Brunson or Murray or anybody this year instead of just roll the dice to what we have? And if we don't succeed, we all possibility of being number 1. Why spend any money and any assets to get anyone? Because the way the team is right now, I don't think Brunson coming in is going to change our team more than give us 10 extra wins next year or so, because you're saying we need a floor general. We can wait. We don't need to get Brunson or Murray, because we're not at the point where we need to make any moves. So I'd rather stay pat, let these rookies develop, these young ones develop, and then let's see a year from now, at what point do we need to start making moves?
There's not a lot of Murrays, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly, but they are the Brunsons, though.
Yeah, but if you're gonna get Donovan Mitchell, if you're going after Donovan Mitchell, you gotta attract him to something.
That's why I'm saying you have to play the young guys, but at the same time, it's a catch-22, because you don't want to be a losing team, and Mitchell's not going to want to come here.
Nope.
So you need to be somewhat competent, but playing your young guys and improving your assets. And the way by doing that is improving your picks. And I think next year, if I had the option, I'd be looking at running it back with Randall and what we have, trading, bringing in nobody. Tibbs is 20 to 25 games. If they can't prove nothing, you fire Tibbs, you trade Randall, Fournier, and you look at the draft.
And Murray and Brunson is young.
Thinking is Brunson and 1 or 2 little moves. The way the East is now, you're looking at Murray's going to Atlanta. Washington now are going to commit to Beal, so they're going to try and do something to get him help. These teams are getting better, and there's no move I can see us making right now that's going to get us into the conversation of the 5th or 6th seed. You're looking at playing at best, and I don't want to pay $25 million to a point guard to go into purgatory, because we're 25 million writing a check away from going into purgatory right now, and that's a place you don't want to be in. You had the Rockets GM come out before the draft and said, told the fans, kind of be patient with the rebuild. The way the NBA is now, purgatory or middle of the pack gets punished.
Yeah.
So
even if Bill go back to
you
Washington,
can't be in the middle, and that's kind of where we're heading right now.
If Bill goes back to Washington, they're still better than
purgatory
us.
and play-in. That's for sure right now.
I don't think that's where we're at. I think we would have been a 6th seed if we were healthy. I do not think we were out of the playoffs team this year.
I don't think Brunson is going to track Mitchell. I don't think Brunson is going to track him.
That doesn't work. That's two 6'1" guards in your backcourt.
Yeah, one of the problems of getting Mitchell, if he even wants out, is who we're dealing with. I don't know if you guys know the history of Danny Ainge. He can match the Don easily. He's cold.
But Brunson is not the key to Mitchell. Brunson is not the key to Mitchell to me. I think RJ is. RJ is the key. RJ is the key to a lot of things.
I think Brunson will have to be a part of that, because
he's a part of it. He's a part of it, but he's not the main key, because RJ has to take that next step to attract somebody else.
Man, but another undersized, non-athletic guard is not what we need. I want one dynamic, athletic guard on our backcourt. Who's that?
I would agree with that. We do need athleticism. We lack that. We do need some, and I would agree with you, Anthony A, that we do need an athletic person in the backcourt. And of course, we know Donovan Mitchell would fulfill that, but the possibility of getting him is like trying to get Jaden Ivey right now. It ain't gonna happen. So
and if you get Brunson, you can't sign. If you get Brunson, you can't sign Mitch back, because Mitch packs the paint and Brunson's too little. If he can't get in there in his space, so it's going to be a problem, especially with him being 6 feet.
They're going to sign Mitch unless they have a sign and trade on the table where they're signing him to the deal and he's getting moved to whatever team he wants. Unless that hasn't come out, that hasn't come out yet. But as of now, I think they've reached on a deal, which to me, I don't like it. If you're bringing back Mitch, you need to get a point guard that can hit the three consistent. And Brunson can hit the three, but he's not looking for it. He's not a 3-point shooter. As I said, he needs to get into the paint and the mid-range. And just with RJ, with Mitch, with Randall, it just doesn't fit. Because then realistically, you're looking at one consistent 3-point shooter on the floor, and that's Fournier.
That's why I think D'Lo will be a better fit than Brunson.
Yep.
Well, I don't. The reason I'm not. I like D'Lo on offense, but he plays no defense. He's a liability.
He's no better than Brunson.
He's a liability on defense. The best way, if you're going to incorporate D'Lo, your other guard has to be a defensive stud to compensate for his deficiencies. Because on offense, D'Lo, he's good. I give him his props. No, I mean he's a ball. He will ball out. He will take that last shot if necessary. And that's great, but on defense, he's a liability.
How many starting point guards is a good defender?
Guard. That's who he has to play
how many starting point guards is good?
He's got to have a complement of a defensive guard for him to be at his best, to cover up his deficiencies.
See, I get that argument, but you can't sit there and say D'Lo, I like him, but because of his defense, but then cheer for Jalen Brunson. 6'1", not athletic. He's a willing defender. I hear that a lot, but can he defend?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So how can you not? I mean, what I'm asking is, how can you knock one for being a bad defender and not knock the other for not being capable of playing defense?
Well, I would say with defense is about effort. Defense is mental. You have to at least put forth the effort. I look at, like, for an example, Steph Curry in the finals, or Steph Curry, period. He's not the greatest defender, but at least he puts forth effort. And, with D'Lo, you haven't seen a lot of effort there for him putting in the defense. Now if he puts forth the effort, it could pan out because D'Lo is taller. He's 6'5". I mean, he has a good strong frame. I mean, if D'Lo puts in the effort to defend, yeah, that could work out. I would agree with you. But
I think he don't have a choice because of Tibbs.
He has to play defense. That's the whole key right there. Offensively, there's no question. But defensively, yes.
Yeah, you know who's cheaper than both of them? Markelle Fultz is out there. I mean, I'd even go there than all of them. So
I like Markelle Fultz. I do. But I just don't know about
it. This with Markelle Fultz. Come on now, don't do that. Don't do that. If we will come into the season with Markelle Fultz as our starting point guard, come on now. Don't do that.
Hey, I rather go with Trevor Keels. I'd rather go with him.
I'd rather just go with Emmanuel quickly. I hope we whiff out on Brunson. And you can't find nobody, and you're stuck looking at the draft next year because, realistically, the front office might have got an awakening and realized we don't got the assets to move up. Never mind trade for a superstar. And now, if they can't sign their own godson, it's like, all right, our only options to go through the draft. And realistically, that's what's going to have to happen if you want to build long-term or get a superstar. Because these short-term options like trading for D'Lo, 1 year left, $30 million, signing another small point guard, going getting John Wall off a buyout, these options, they're not good long-term options. So you're probably better taking this step back to get better long-term because that's the only way to sustain success is long-term, is winning long-term. And you have to build through the draft to do that.
Yeah, you got to be 3 years ahead. You got to be 3 years ahead.
Yeah, well, yeah, you just need a couple of players to pop off, and then you build around them. That's how. Other teams have done it. That's how. You look at the Golden State. You look at San Antonio. You look at the current Memphis team. Other teams that are now, you seeing all these things coming into fruition is because of building through the draft. So it's. Again, like we've all said, it's going to take time, and we got to be patient. I've been patient a long time, so ain't got nothing else to do.
But if they do go to D'Lo route, right? I would try to offload Fournier so I could put Grimes next to him, and then RJ and whoever else they have. That way you have a defender play.
That's a thought. Now you're thinking.
That's a genius move.
Now you're thinking. Actually, that would be a good. That would be a good compliment. That would
so there you go.
If D'Lo were to come here, I could see that being an ideal scenario because he would cover up D'Lo's deficiencies.
Right, but
in other words, whoever that.
But what is that accomplishing? What is that accomplishing long term? What are you winning with that?
Yeah,
what are you winning with
a rental at most to me?
Yeah, no, he is, but I'm just saying.
I'm not saying over the course of 82 games that wouldn't work, right? But what I'm saying is long term. What are you doing?
Okay,
but if long term,
it's opening up money. I think
if you're going to have Grimes to complement D'Lo, then you're going to need Mitch to be the center. So if the person gets past D'Lo's man, then you got Mitch there. I mean, I know we've been saying Mitch has been covering up everyone else, but he's got to have a complement defensively. That's the only way it can work with D'Lo. And in terms of longevity, Freezy, as you mentioned, D'Lo is, he's still relatively young. I mean, he's not that old.
Like 26.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something like that. I believe
he's not a long-term option.
Who's more likely to be a championship point guard, D'Lo or Brunson?
Brunson.
Or
neither.
Well, I have to say you're right.
Brunson is not a championship level point guard, bro.
If he would have went there with Dallas, what would have happened? He would have been a championship point guard, possibly.
Oh yeah, he got a chance to stay.
Like,
with a championship.
I'm not saying
Dallas
he's going to be the number one guy on a championship team, but
for us, I'm not talking
setting
about
the table.
I'm talking about a Hall of Famer next year. I'm talking about with us. I mean, that was.
I'll take Brunson over D'Angelo any day, though.
How about Murray?
Let me offer you guys this. I'm gonna offer you guys this, right? Just bear with me when I offer you this. I think the Knicks. Look who backstage, y'all. Hey, when I bring this person in the chat, man, y'all show y'all love. Bo Ismail is here. What's good, Bo?
What's good, man?
What's good? Can y'all hear me?
Welcome.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we
Welcome.
can hear
Yes,
you.
sir.
Yeah, we can hear you, man. How you doing?
How you doing? Long time Knicks fan. I'm out in Orlando. You know what I'm saying? Long time watcher on the show.
Okay.
And
Okay.
you know, I always watch it when you guys when I'm at work. So you know, like Freezy, you know, you always posted at 11 o'clock or whatever. So
Yeah.
I'm always at work watching it or whatever. But this is crazy.
Grinding.
Yeah.
Hey, well, let me be the first to say this, but not the only person that feels this way.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank
to
you,
the
sir.
video panel.
Thank you.
Welcome to the video panel.
Welcome.
And listen, I know things, and from your experience, you know, sometimes things up here get chaotic, right? But if you have your point, man, just jump in, right?
Okay.
Just jump in and say your piece. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I had to tell Ashley A about that. Like, man, listen, when you got something to say, jump in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. Now, listen, from the chat, I think what you're from the impression that I'm getting, you're saying trade all the young assets,
No,
the young players and young asset and draft picks for KD and Kyrie.
No.
He trying to set him up. He trying to set him up.
You lined him up with that one.
I'm messing with you, bro.
You lined him up.
I trade you know, sports cards. So Obi is like my you know, like I collect Obi cards. You know what I'm saying? Like I collect his signature cards and all that stuff. So I think he's gonna be the next one. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm an Obi stan, and Sherwin M knows that. So you know, so I'm here for it. So
right. For all the Obi smoke. If you got some Obi smoke, bring it.
I got the Obi smoke.
I like Obi. I love Obi. I don't want to see Obi playing 10 minutes a game this year. This is third year. Let him play. I don't want to see 10 minutes.
You know what I mean? Like it's like, you know.
Let Mitch walk. Put him at the 5.
You can see it. Like how many years have we been here? And how many players have we seen, you know, dunking through their legs on a fast break? There's only one. It's by probably like J.R. Smith.
As a Knick? You mean as a Knick?
Yeah, it's probably J.R. Smith, right?
That's it. Yeah.
So I want dynamic. I want like athletic, you know, players and, you know, getting up and down the court, like don't embarrass us.
Let's put Obi at the 5. Let's run and gun.
Nah, if we're gonna give him a chance, I want to give him a chance to succeed.
Well, that's his natural position.
I thought we had some Obi fans. Let's put him at the 5. Come on.
I would. You know what I'll do? Like I would trade Randall. Let him play 20. I'll let him take those minutes and see what he got. And if you don't trade Randall, then I play him to at least 20, 25 minutes. Like, but you got to put him in a space where he can succeed. Don't set him up to fail, and then everybody be like, "Oh, he whack." Put him in his place so he can succeed.
Agree.
But that's the thing. Like everybody's hating on Randall right now, right? And then Randall showed his face, right, for this past year. I don't know what was going on with him, but the year before, Randall was, you know, the man. You know what I'm saying? Like he balled out. I'm not gonna lie. Like Randall was like legit. Like he got us into the playoffs. But this past year, I can't say that. You know what I mean? So
and he's somewhere in between of those 2 seasons. So
I don't know.
That equals a good player. That still equals a good player.
But low key, the whole team did that last year. They all balled out to a certain degree so they could get paid. All of them did that.
Yeah, RJ shot 40% from 3.
But he wasn't on the contract yet. He wasn't on the contract. I'm talking about Noel and Randall and
Obi is
Bullock
not 6'7", 190. Oh my God.
Sam Jude tried to say Jaden Ivey was 6'2", 175.
Yo, don't worry. If they get Brunson, I'm gonna hate just like you hating on Obi. Trust me.
Yeah, he's gonna say Brunson's 5'10". He comes up. I don't know. Is Sherwin standing at the combine with a measuring tape measuring these dudes?
It's 6'7", 190. Oh,
definitely Sherwin be out there.
But Randall's 9 years, 8 of them he shoots below 40% from 3, well below. 8 of them he shoots just below 50% from 2, off. You know, except the 1 year when he drives, he hits the 50% mark. When he drives, his jump shot is not that's elite for Tim's system. So Randall's over the 8 years, I said one pattern, and one outlier year, everyone's saying All-Star, MIP. Yes, he did accomplish those goals.
Ashley, let me,
Cool.
double A, let me ask you this. How many elite coaches has Julius Randle played for in those 8 seasons that you mentioned?
None. Like one.
He played for one, right?
Yeah.
And that one coach that he played for that was elite, won Coach of the Year during Randall's breakout season, right? Julius Randle was second team All-NBA. That means he was a top 10 player in the NBA. Because if you're top 11, you're on the third team in the NBA, right? Also, in Randall's second season, this season that just passed, right? The Knicks were riddled with injuries, not only at point guard, but everywhere else. So the season was in flux, right? The reason why I asked that rhetorical question is because I think we unfairly bash Randall, i.e. our best player.
I agree.
Because we have no other excuse to explain the failure of this season that just passed. Well, the main reason why this season that just passed was a disaster is not just because of Randall, but because, for one, the roster was like the island of misfit toys, where you got a lot of new people coming in trying to take on major roles. Your second best player went from playing the 2 to playing the 3. You changed point guards, right? Your backup center was hurt all season. Your starting center was coming in off of injury, and he had gained 40 pounds, right? And your rookie from the previous season, Emmanuel quickly struggled out the gate. And
your
Kemba
backup
Walker,
center was hurt.
Yep. And Kemba Walker was a turnstile on defense. And Quentin Grimes did not get minutes. Him and McBride did not get minutes straight away. Now, how could you blame Randall for all of that stuff when he's only a player?
Well, I don't blame Randall for all of that. I blame Randall for what Randall does.
Right.
I don't blame him for like the team stuff. I blame Randall for when he does the idiotic stuff, and then then he looks around to look at everybody else. That's what I blame Randall for. I don't like. Obviously, it's a lot of stuff that's out of his control, but for him, he got to take accountability for him. Now, if he come back next year and he does what he did the year before, I have no problem. But you got to come back mentally prepared. All right, you didn't play well. Come back, do your thing, because now your contract kicks in. Now you're the $100 million man. Now officially. So come back, be the leader, and move on. That's what you got to do.
But those who are mad at his efficiency and his shooting, do you also want to get D'Angelo Russell? He's not that efficient as well.
Right. And do you want to add D'Angelo Russell to a mix? That is, and so I'm glad Coach Mark Jackson joined the panel. Coach Mark Jackson, it's a pleasure having you
here, baby.
Hey, I'll say that in love. I'm messing with
all
Bill,
love,
man.
baby.
I'm joking.
We haven't had anything as good as you, and then we decided to trade you.
Yeah, man. For Doc Rivers, I get out of here. But anyway, my thing is the stuff with Randall. Randall gets unfairly blamed, right? But when you look at other people's performances on the roster, when you look at Alec Burks' offensive efficiency, when you look at Evan Fournier's offensive efficiency, when you look at RJ Barrett's offensive efficiency, when you look at Miles McBride's offensive efficiency, when you look at Quentin Grimes' offensive efficiency, you can't blame Randall because Randall in himself was inefficient, but you can't account to how terrible this backcourt was historically bad. And I mentioned this, and people are like, yeah, good point, Uncle Freezy, and we understand, but they acknowledge it in passing, like, yeah, it was a bad season all around. No, It was not a bad season all around.
No,
this is probably the worst backcourt in franchise history. 77 years. Of all the 77 years of Knicks basketball, this backcourt is the worst. And we'll say, well, let's add a 5'11" point guard of a playoff team and pay him almost $30 million, and he'll take us to the 8th seed. Really? Why are we trying to get to the 8th seed and the deepest draft we've seen in 20 years?
And we done it. The 4th seed landed when Cade Cunningham and all these dudes were in the top 5 of a deep draft, and we picked 19 and 21.
We could legit because we weren't gonna. Okay, so we weren't gonna get Cade, right? But if this thing played out the way a lot of Knicks fans wanted it to play out, we could legit be sitting here talking about who are we gonna put in between Evan Mobley and RJ Barrett.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep.
Now with this draft coming up, we see we messed up, right? You remember that movie Minister Society when the detective had old dog in that?
Oh yeah, he said,
room?
you're not effed up, right?
Yeah, you know you're not effed up, right? now we in old dog seat, right? Now we in old dog seat, and we know we done effed up, right? And instead of saying, "Hey, well, you know what? Next time we'll do it different," we like, nah. We're just gonna do it the same way. And so
that's why Freezy, if it starts off bad, they have to pull the plug early. They have to. They're just gonna do themselves dirty again. They're gonna be sitting 11-12 trying to trade up, and no one's gonna want to trade out.
It's like when you taking your shower in the hotel. Like you get this fly room, right? You in the hotel. You try to get the hot water right. The hot water won't get right. You in there freezing half to death, in there trembling. You can't get the hot water right? So instead of saying, I'm going to just stay in here and keep taking cold showers, you just wash what need to be washed. Hurry up and get out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You don't be like, well, I'm going to take a 25-minute ice cold shower. That's stupid, Leon Rose. Right? You know Victor Wembanyama. This kid, Victor Wembanyama, is Rudy Gobert and Kristaps Porzingis and Anthony Davis all rolled into one. At the end of the day, this kid, Victor W., and y'all hearing it from me, this kid, Victor W., is going to be a Hall of Fame. I'm talking about moonwalking into the Hall of Fame. This kid, Victor W., is faster than Porzingis at 7'2", with handles, right? His elite skills are the skills that he don't even like using. Or not like, I'm sorry, that's easy for him to use. Like, he is better defensively than Rudy Gobert projected to be, right? He could shoot the three and ISO a guard and take a guard off the dribble at 7'2", right? Nobody, we're talking about LeBron James type impact from day one, right? But we're talking about signing a random guard off a playoff team and giving him most of our salary cap space. Who is more valuable to you, the number 1 pick in next year's draft or Jalen Brunson? That's the
number
question
1 pick.
Knicks fans should be asking.
You pushing for the tank, huh?
Right. Which one?
We might as well. When a player's like that, you might
pushing
as well.
for the tank, huh?
Freezy, he's a 7'3", he's 7'2", Kevin Durant, and the kid just turned 18. I think he has another year or two to grow. I think by the time he's in the first year of the NBA is done, he's going to be close to the 7'5".
Right. And with handles. Yeah,
I think it's gonna be him and Chet.
So that I would much rather RJ average 25 to 27 points.
Let me ask Bo Ismail this. Bo, I'm asking you directly. Who do you prefer? The number 1 pick in next year's draft or Jalen Brunson?
Come on, man. Oh man, that's like, oh no, man. Jalen Brunson is young. He's a known winner. He has a NBA pedigree. He's tough. He's known in the playoffs to score. You know what I mean? Right. So, man, that's tough.
Take
that's
that
like,
number 1 pick, Bo. Come on.
That's like saying
you better take that pick, Bo.
That's like saying you're gonna take KD or LeBron. You know what I mean? So
Whoa.
No, I'm just
Brunson
saying.
is
Like,
not neither of those.
no,
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Like, is it a known playoff guy that got his teams in the playoff and when the top player went down, he was able to score. And then this kid we don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I've seen him. I've seen the highlights. He's nice, but we don't know. He may get into the league and hurt his knee or something, or his feet, or
That's the same thing.
I don't know. Like,
You can't factor in injuries. I mean,
let me ask y'all, because Paris Duggar said, I just got absurd, right? Let me ask the chat. I'm just going to ask the chat straight up. I'm not going to try to force y'all either way. Would you prefer the number 1 pick in next year's NBA draft or Jalen Brunson?
Number 1 pick.
And listen, and if the chat says, the virtual chat and the regular chat says that it's the number 1 pick in the chat, I want somebody to point out Paris Duggar. Because Paris Duggar just said, when I mentioned who would you prefer, the number 1 pick in next year's draft or Jalen Brunson, he said it's a stream of absurdities. Somebody let me know.
Here's my thing, though. We can do all of that, right? We can do the number 1 pick. We can go tank, right? But I guarantee you, somehow we'll get the 7th pick.
Not if you have the top 3 records. You're going to finish the top 3.
Right, but you can also
even with our young guys.
But you could also say, no matter what the Knicks do to clear cap space, they won't get Jalen Brunson.
No, I'm all for the tank. I'm just know the league just don't care about us. They like, y'all gonna be whacked to be jokes forever.
But the options, listen, it's the number 1 pick of Jalen Brunson. Because if you say we don't get the number 1 pick, you can also say that the Knicks can clear all. Because if the Knicks clear all this cap space and don't get Jalen Brunson,
you're gonna get the number 1 pick anyway. You got the odds to get the number 1 pick anyway.
But you're banking on ping pong balls. The other side is trying to sign a player.
No. We also have
it's a little different than odds.
Can I give you an option?
We could trade the 4 first round and move up. The next year, it's not about getting number 1. You could actually
So y'all want to move the goalposts. So right now, everybody is moving the goalposts, basically saying that the Knicks won't get the number 1 pick, and that Jalen Brunson is easier to acquire, right?
But Freezy, wait, hold on.
But here's the thing: when has a top 3 free agent going into the summer signed with the Knicks? I'm gonna hold my breath until y'all give me an accurate answer.
Never.
Yeah, but
I ain't never see it.
But
he's not even a star though.
The president's son is his agent.
Right.
His dad is.
And Royal Ivy was best friends with Kevin Durant.
No. But his dad is the assistant coach. It's not Royal Ivy. It's not like a best friend. It's like his dad. And
I understand.
And
well, we don't know their relationship. They might be stagnant to each other.
David Fizdale was a close confidant of LeBron James.
Yeah, but close confidant and son and God.
We got a 50-50 chance at Brunson.
It's different. That's different. That's family.
But we don't. It's not 50-50.
It's either Dallas or us.
No,
that's how I see it. He's going to choose Dallas or he'll choose us.
It's winning or playing with my dad right now. And
y'all killing me right. Y'all act like there is no. Y'all act like there is no market for Jalen Brunson outside of Dallas, Texas.
I just think we're the top team.
Indiana Pacers are interested in Jalen Brunson.
No,
the Detroit Pistons
are interested.
I think at the top of his list, there's 2 teams. I know there's several.
Y'all saying that like. Y'all saying that like the Knicks are the only team that a free agent is,
I think so.
I feel like those are his top 2 teams. Like those are his
but you hadn't heard him say
there's
that.
other teams, of course. We can't be naive.
We're the loudest voice. We are the loudest voice. We're not
we the loudest voice, and we got the worst franchise.
Yeah, I feel like we're the devil on his shoulder, and Dallas is the angel.
If we get Brunson, how much will it change our franchise's future? So I'm sorry, number 1 pick next year, number 3 pick next year. If you say top 5 next year, I'm go for that over Brunson this year.
I'm trying to sway you. I'm trying to get y'all to get out of this mindset that the Knicks are actually attractive. We are not.
No.
No,
we are not.
No,
No matter what y'all say, no matter what point you bring to the table, because some of y'all, actually, you remember that show Ironside? Remember Ironside?
Oh yeah.
You remember how Ironside always had all the dope facts? Y'all remember Matlock? Remember Matlock?
I know what Matlock is, but that's before my time. I ain't watching that.
Y'all remember Columbo? Remember Columbo?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Before my time.
Yeah. And so what I'm saying is we're taking this approach, arguing the facts for the Knicks as if we are major players at the table, yet the results say that we are not major players at the table. What I'm saying in this thing, I'm not disparaging you guys because you guys are smart, but I think you're arguing out of passion instead of intellect at this point.
That's my problem.
Right. And so while I listen, I'm acknowledging that you guys are smart. Because here's the fact, because if y'all were not smart, if y'all didn't have smart takes, I would boot y'all asses out of here. Right? but y'all bring smart stuff to the table every day, so much so that sometimes I have to sit back and just listen to the smart stuff y'all bring to the table, right? But what I'm saying though is in a situation where this guy is going to hit the open market for the first time in his life, y'all are telling me that this dude is only going to listen to his current team and the Knicks. I think that's absurd. And I think that's absurd.
I said we should be the top 2 on his list, not the only team.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, I think that
in my opinion.
Did any of y'all think about the Brunson situation that Leon Rose's son is his agent? And maybe then they have the connection. Do you think the Knicks might be showing interest to drive the price up for Brunson so Dallas overpay him?
How does that benefit us?
Basically using the Knicks as leverage to try and get their client overpaid by Dallas. So he gets his money.
But Joe, how does that help us on the court though?
No.
I don't know.
Because ultimately, what you're saying, I can see what you're saying.
It doesn't help us, but that is a good angle that could be happening.
Get your family fed.
I think
right.
The
You
market,
think get your family fed, right? But what I'm saying is, go ahead, bro.
I think the market is the market for Brunson. I think everybody knows he's between 20 and 25 mil a year. That's the market. I think that Dallas wants to give him 5 years, and the Knicks can only give him 4. That's the problem. That's the only thing that's holding him back. And I think he's going to go with the Knicks because the Knicks are saying, "Hey, look, your dad's here. Your godfather's here. He's going to look out for you. Rose's son is his agent. Like you have, you're from New York. Like this, he has so many ties here. Guess what? Just come home. You know what I mean? And you're gonna play the right ball under Tibbs. You got the ball in your hand.
Yeah,
like let's rock.
Shadow.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and then we'll sign. We'll get rid of some of these vets, and then we'll try to get guys that can work in our system. I really believe this kid that they drafted, Kills. He's a big part of what the Knicks are trying to do. That kid, I'm telling you, that kid. He's a baller, dude. He's a player.
Is a player. Yep.
Kills
is a player.
Freezy, he's a player, dude. I'm telling you right now.
I live in South Carolina. I see Kills every time.
Yeah, he's a player, dude. I'm telling you. He's a player.
Where's he gonna play? Where does he play? Is he like a 1-2, like an Alec Burks?
I've seen him play like he's a 6'5" guard, but he's a off guard, but he makes really good plays. And he's like a Marcus Smart, but a bigger Marcus Smart.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And
his
defense
is not as good as Marcus Smart, right?
No.
Because he gets beat. People with foot speed beat him off the dribble.
He has to lose weight though.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
but
right.
he's a.
So would you say
player.
he's like 2 years away from really being where he's supposed to be?
Yeah, he's like a Lou Dort. He's like a Lou Dort.
What I would say with him is this: when the offense gets stagnant, he is an excellent secondary playmaker. Like I would put him in that role over RJ. With RJ Barrett, RJ Barrett on the floor. With him and RJ Barrett on the floor, I'm confident that this kid can relocate. Because the thing about y'all remember Reggie Miller and Ray Allen, right? Y'all remember they would run around screens and all that stuff. But a very underrated part of their game is they were excellent guys passing the ball into the post and relocating for the spot up
Yeah,
three.
yeah.
Richard Hamilton too.
Yes,
Right.
Richard
yes.
Hamilton.
Yeah. And so with Trevor Kills, his shot is not there because his shot is slow, right? Tom Thibodeau has taken a bunch of dudes that couldn't shoot the three, and in Tibbs' system, they shoot over 40%, right? What I'm telling you is with Trevor Kills is a 30% shooter in college. When Tibbs gets him, he's going to shoot 38%. I'm willing to put my reputation on that. Tibbs is going to turn him into a shooter because Kills' shot is not broken. It's sloppy, right? It's not broken. It's not broken like Mitchell Robinson's shot is broken, right? Kills' shot is sloppy mechanics. Part of that has to do with him getting into NBA shape. Once he gets into NBA shape, I'm telling you, this kid is gonna wipe. If Miles McBride is not on point, you will forget about Miles McBride because this dude is gonna come in and add instant balance to the floor.
Talk to
But
him.
will
Talk
he
to him,
play?
Fizzy. Tell him. Talk to him.
I would love to see it, but will he play?
No. Is he gonna
He'll
play right
probably be in
away?
the G
No.
League. No,
No,
he's
he's
gonna
young.
be in the G League.
He's young. He's young.
The dude turns 19 in a couple weeks.
Yeah, he's young.
Yeah, man. And so what I'm saying to you is Kills is not the guy right now, but he needs to get in NBA shape. That's going to take a few months. He needs to clear up his sloppy shot. That's going to take a few months. So don't think about Kills right away. Think about maybe Jan Montero right away. Because you can't teach craftiness and speed, right? You can't teach that. No matter who your coach is, you can't take RJ Barrett and turn him into John Morant, no matter who the coach is.
Yeah,
right?
that's just
But
God given.
Right, but what I'm saying about Kills is once he cleans up, because listen, we love flashy terms like pick and roll, like pocket pass, like you know what I'm saying, like 3-point, like buzzwords get us thinking, right? All the buzz stuff, Kills does that right now. All he needs to do, and think about this: the dude is a second-round pick on a team that had 4 first-round picks. Think about that. Wendell Moore, AJ Griffin, Paolo Banchero, and Mark Williams, all first-round picks.
And he was better than AJ Griffin all year.
And he was the orchestrator so that all 4 of them can get to the NBA. Right? Think about this. The dude had played with 4 first-round picks and the number 1 pick, and took all those egos, got them to the Final Four. 4 first-round picks went ahead of him. He was the orchestrator of that offense and defense, right? And here we sit like, where is he going to play? Right now, he should be getting some of Alec Burks' minutes. Off rip. Why are we even talking about Alec Burks being here when Kills should be getting at least from rip at least 7 to 8 minutes a game, at least off the top.
But what do you think those be Grimes minutes? If for Burks, if we're gonna take it from Burks, we got to give it to Grimes.
No, I like Grimes taking minutes from Fournier.
That's true.
Yeah, Fournier should probably be coming off the bench as a shooter. You know?
Right now, somebody right now should be buying Walt Perrin a box of cigars and patting him on the back. Because this clearly is a Walt Perrin pick in the second round. Somebody need to be sending a Walt Perrin a box of Omaha steaks to his house right now for this Kills pick. Because Kills doesn't. Kills is gonna be okay, and I know y'all don't like him, and I'm gonna say it anyway. Kills right now is our Malcolm Brogdon, right? A young Malcolm Brogdon. That's what Kills is. And I know y'all don't like Malcolm Brogdon. I know y'all think Malcolm Brogdon is too slow and all this stuff. But what Malcolm Brogdon is a maestro. He don't want to be the star. He want to make everybody else better. You know what I'm saying? And when you put Kills on the floor with RJ, Randall, Fournier, all them dudes, he is going to make the right basketball play. Dude, he coached up by Coach K. Right? Come on. He coached up by Coach K. right?
So he had modern day Andre Miller, because that's what kind of like Brogdon is. He's like kind of like a modern day better scorer than Andre Miller. He makes the right plays and all that.
His jump shot's not broke though.
No,
Kale's
no,
kind
no.
of
It's not broken. It's his jump shot is sloppy. It's not broke.
It's not broke.
And it's because he needs to get in NBA shape. And Tibbs will do that. Tibbs took Derrick Rose, who was a 31% 3-point shooter with everybody else for his career. He brought him to New York, and Derrick Rose shoots 40% from three. That's Tom Thibodeau, right? Julius Randle was a 29% 3-point shooter. Under Tibbs in the first year, Randle shot 40%. RJ Barrett was a 30% 3-point shooter for his career. Under Tibbs in his first year, he shot 40%. Right? So while we bash Tibbs, because it's the bashing Tibbs is the convenient way of us releasing stress because we can't figure out why the team is so bad. Right? But what I'm saying is Kills is a player. Hey, bro, what's going on? How you doing, man? Mr. Ray, finally you got in the chat. What's good?
Yeah, what's going on, fellas? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I wanted to jump in on something that y'all mentioned earlier about getting Brunson his bag through CAA. That's something that I was thinking. These dudes, they don't want to burn any bridges or really fleece any other teams because they thinking about future business and how it can affect them. And the Knicks are kind of, not secondary, but they always have that thought in the back of their mind where they don't want to burn this dude too bad so future business won't be right.
Okay. That's deeper than what I thought you was gonna say, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna hold you. That's deeper than what I thought you was
gonna say. And the whole thing with Brunson, it feels kind of collegey, right? You hiring his pops, you bringing people in that he already knows, and they acting like it's a foregone conclusion. Like even with Keels, some of the things that you're mentioning, we have already with Keels that they trying to sell us that we need to pay Brunson $27 million, and Keels can develop into that in a season or two. I'm personally thinking, I'll put it in the chat a bunch of times, man. Maybe is the answer. Give San Antonio everything we got on draft night, plus the Dallas pick, plus whatever else they want, 4 tools, one of our young players, get Murray here, and offer the bag to Levine. And we'll be talking how far we can go into the playoffs instead of Wembanyama.
I agree with you on the Murray part, 100%.
That kid VW, bro, is the truth.
Levine is a treadmill, man. You don't want that.
Is the truth, bro. What I'm gonna say to y'all about Victor Wembanyama is this: don't listen to what I say. Do the research for yourself. Right?
Let the basketball tell you.
Right.
And when you watch him for a half hour, you'll be like, okay, maybe we should look into this dude.
I'm telling y'all as a courtesy, because I like doing this. That this kid Victor W is Porzingis with foot speed. This kid Victor W is called Porzingis with handles. I'm telling y'all, this kid VW is Porzingis with a shot. I'm telling y'all, this dude VW is Porzingis in pick and roll coverage, right? It better than this with pick and roll. I'm telling you, this kid, while he's not as big as Porzingis girth wise, because when he comes into the league, he'll probably be about 220, 225, right? What I will tell you is this: the league has never seen a kid like this ever. Right, you would have to think back to, even for a comparison, you would have to think back to guys like Ralph Sampson to even do an NBA comp. Now the old heads will be like, "Yo, Uncle Freezy, are you serious?" Ralph Sampson.
Somebody echoing, man.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
Somebody echoing. Got feedback.
Oh, I don't know.
Hey, Ray, that look like you, man.
That's probably me. I'm gonna step out.
You got some headphones? You got some headphones?
Yeah. plug them in. I gotta find them.
Okay. All right.
I'll be back to anything.
Freezy, can you see him going against Chet? Because Chet got he got handles too, and he can shoot it from deep.
Hey, stop.
He's more
I'm serious.
skilled.
I'm serious, man. Chet.
He's more skilled. He's more skilled.
Chet Holmgren and Victor W ain't even in the same.
I'm just saying.
Nah,
Don't sleep on Chet. I'm telling you, man.
That's like what you just said is like. Can you see Paul George going up against LeBron in their prime?
But the thing is this: the Knicks will start tanking halfway through the season when they playing 500 basketball.
After they got 40 wins, they'll start tanking.
Yeah, they have 500, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I forgot we got to tank," and then start tanking, and it's too late.
It is too late.
I would say this, Uncle Freezy. I like your point about the question you asked earlier, as opposed to would you choose the number one pick or Brunson? Right. To add to your point, if what you're talking about is, I won't say tanking, but letting the young kids play and see that as a man. I mean, if the young kids play, we might either lose to get us in the first round, but at least we know what we have in our kids. But if that's the case, Randall has to go because with Randall on the team, I feel like we're not going to be as bad as we was last year. I don't think we was going to be as bad as last year. Randall has to go. I think Obi has to start. And the only thing I could think of is trading Randall for D'Lo.
Right. Listen, I would do that, and I wouldn't mind seeing RJ score 25 to 27 points a game and losing. I don't mind. I'll watch that.
I don't mind either.
So maybe I bet you he'll get respect. I bet you the league will start respecting him all of a sudden.
But you know what? The fan base, the kids playing, even though you lose it and playing entertaining, the fan base, I love like 20 wins and the young kids balling out but losing games, and these beat up vets scraping 500. That's what the fan base would rather.
Yeah.
The old heads right now, but like, no, I don't want to rebuild, and I get it because they've been around longer than I am, so the Knicks have been hurting them longer than they've hurt me. But realistically, for the future of the fan base, you got to take a step back to go forward.
And I would run the team like the 2000s.
But why we got to be old heads though? Why can't we just be fans?
I will run the team like the Quentin Richardson, Darius Miles, Clippers. Just let the young boys run and dunk all day like that. I would do that. That was a fun team to watch. It just lost.
I would say this to the chat, and I'm not a Randall hater. I think Randall's in the same situation that Monte Ellis was in the Warriors. It wasn't about he was the best talent on that team, but they had to get rid of him in order for them to find people who fit for Steph Curry. In our case, we quote unquote trying to build around RJ, and RJ and Randall, both of them just don't mix. They just don't mix. Both of them basically like the ball in their hands to operate. I don't think that's good basketball.
I agree with that.
I agree with that, and I think that before you get rid of RJ, you got to see what he has or his potential first. So that's why you got to get rid of Randall, because I would love to see what RJ has, what the offense is his, before I say, nah, he ain't it.
Right. Duly noted. You want a test drive?
Yeah,
right?
like don't give
there's
up
no
on
harm in test
somebody
drive
before you know. Just like Obi, I don't know because I don't get to see, and we only got to saw half a season of RJ being the number one. Once he saw that he ain't had no choice to take over because Randall wasn't playing the way he was supposed to. So I would love to see RJ take that from day one, first game. I'm going out there and I'm going to do this, and this, and take that leadership role versus going down court, passing it to Randall, and then running in the corner.
Let me ask Cash. Let me ask Cash and Ashley A what they think just real quick, because they've been chilling. So Cash, would you prefer Jalen Brunson or the number one overall pick VW?
Ooh, that's tough. That's tough.
It's a setup question, dude. Watch out.
Okay, you want to think about it? Let me answer first. Number one pick. I'm sorry, was that too fast? Let me think about it. Give me a second.
Go ahead.
You gotta think about it, yo.
I'm saying number one. Okay, but if you say to me that we play the youth, we find what they have.
Yep.
They don't succeed. We get number one pick.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, what a disaster to know what we have and potentially get the number one pick. Yep. Or we get a above average point guard, none of these athletes, who may make us a potential middle of the road purgatory number 8, number 7 position, with the possibility of hoping to get somebody else in the future to take us over that next step. Number 1 pick. I'm sorry. Okay, let me go back. All right.
Cash, what you thinking, Cash?
I would say, okay, these would be some factors in considering Brunson and this potential pick, whoever it is. If this pick offers us something that we don't have, I would consider that. For an example, I'm gonna use a prototype. I'm just gonna use a prototype. If he's athletic and if he has a high IQ and he has a defensive acumen, based on the timeline of the players that we already have, so he's offering us some abilities that we already have and some that we don't, I'm going with the number 1 pick. And I'm going to provide at least a 3-year timeline before the learning curve ends, and then it's ball out time. So I'm going to go with the number 1 pick based on that prototype that I just given. But if that individual doesn't have that prototype, then maybe Brunson. But I'm going to go with the number 1 option. And the key is athleticism, because that's something that we don't have in the backcourt.
Right.
So I'm gonna say, you consider KD athletic?
Yes.
Okay. Imagine KD with less athleticism. Would you still take him?
Yes.
Who's that? Who?
Kevin.
Who you said?
Kevin Durant. Kevin
Durant.
At this age where he's at right now, yes, but he's in a win mode now. So if some crazy hypothetical possibility, if we could get KD, you have to change everything, because
I'm saying if number 1 draft pick next year's number 1 draft pick is KD, a little less athletic, would you accept that?
But 7'3" tall.
And defensive skills.
He's 7'3".
Yeah, 7'2" now, but he's 18, so he's probably going to be like 7'3", 7'4" by the time he's drafted or in the league.
Or if you stay the same,
kid, so he's going to probably grow.
Well, let's say 7'2".
I'm going to say no, because it's a guard. The way the dynamics has changed over the years in the NBA, it's a guard-driven league right now. It's not a big man's league. Back in the day, during me and Freezy's heyday and Anthony A's heyday, it was big man driven. Now it's a guards league. Shooting three. The whole dynamic.
Like
yeah.
So y'all mean to tell me y'all would think about choosing Jalen Brunson over a number 1 pick, y'all?
No. I said he has to,
or even any top 5 pick in this draft.
So let me ask you this. All right, 2014 draft, when Joel Embiid was injured and Wiggins was taking number 1, would y'all choose the number 1 pick over Brunson?
Yes.
Yes, I would take Wiggins over.
You got to take the number 1 pick over Jalen Brunson every year.
Y'all got to think about it.
Without a doubt.
Oh, yeah, we in bad shape, y'all.
Yeah, you got to take the number 1 pick over Brunson in every year. Would you take Zion Williamson over Jalen Brunson?
Yes.
Yes. I'm not even big on Zion.
He was the number 1. Yeah, he was the number 1 pick. Right. That's what I'm saying. The thing is, if you have the opportunity to turn, because Jalen Brunson is a 2nd round pick that found his niche. Right. Here's the thing. You have 11 2nd round picks over the next 7 seasons. Right. But you don't have 11 number 1 overall picks in the next 7 seasons. So if you get it, if you're lucky enough to get it, you have to take advantage of it. Right.
Yep.
But 2nd round picks, you can get 2nd round pick. Man, listen, they traded away 4 2nd round picks just to get rid of Kemba.
Exactly.
And we say we're going to treasure a 2nd round pick over the number 1 pick?
Freezy,
let's see if we go worse. Let's go top 3.
Freezy, I'm going to go back to something you said in prior shows, that something that we could do with those 1st round picks. You recall the year already. You've done it already. That year that we had those 3 first-round picks. We can take those 3 first-round picks and move up.
Yeah.
And make that move.
Hey,
you could have 7 first-round picks in next year's draft. You ain't getting near the top 5 with them picks.
No,
6,
you're not getting.
Yeah.
You can't move up. You
Get in there, you ain't moving out of there.
No. He's saying you could take those 3 and move up in the draft. He didn't say move to number 1 because you could have offered Philadelphia 13 first-round picks and you were not getting Allen Iverson from Philly, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knew that. That's why nobody made an offer. Because Pat Croce was like, hey, not only we taking AI, we're not taking calls, and we're going to change our uniforms. We're going to start wearing black. As soon as they got the number 1 pick, y'all remember that? Y'all don't remember dudes?
Yeah.
Don't call us about AI. Yeah.
They were locked in.
Yeah.
Freezy, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm saying.
Right.
I don't know, man. But I look at other draft classes, guys, and this one is projected to be real good. And y'all mean to tell me y'all wouldn't choose the number 1 pick over Brunson? I mean, y'all would choose Brunson over the number 1 pick?
No,
that's the big.
Yeah, we crazy right
now.
No,
let's say top 3. Let's even go top 3. The number, any of the top 3 picks over Brunson. I would do that right now, no matter what. Top 3 next year, I'll do it. And we're likely to get number 3 if we happen to have the worst record, because that's the worst case scenario, right? So top 3 over Brunson. It's still a deal I'm doing right now.
Right now.
Yep. Well, it's tough. It's tough because you can't teach, tanking. You know what I mean? Like you want to teach good culture and win games and play good and play the right way, and that's what Tibbs is trying to do. So you can't sit there and tell these guys to lose games. They're gonna try to go out and ball out. It's just like Obi and Quick. Last 10 games they were balling out. They got the chance and they took it. You know what I mean? Like I want to be on an NBA team, no matter if it's New York or.
We're not saying tank though. We're not saying tank. We're saying don't add Brunson to improve our chance of winning more games.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Brunson is young. He's 26. He's 26. He's not an old vet. So I mean, you add them to our young core. They're in their 3rd year. These guys want to win. It's not like you can't.
Wanting to win and winning is going to be 2 different things. And the way the East is shaping up next year, these teams are going to get better. And Brunson alone isn't making this team. This team with Brunson maybe is a 10 seed. And there you go, purgatory. You're not winning, and then you're not putting yourself in for the draft. So you're staying middle of the pack again.
But Madden, I agree with you. I agree with Madden. Like Brunson's not. He's not the end. He's not. It's not like adding Luka. You know what I mean, to the team, right? But he's not going to move the needle. But at the same time, he's part of the piece. You know what I mean? Like he's part of the culture. They're trying to make a winning culture.
Did we realize that the record that we had this year, if we were in the Western Conference, we would have been in the play-in game?
True. Yes.
Right.
We would have been in the play. So my point is that though we have a long way to go.
So your point is Jalen Brunson put up big numbers in the weakest conference.
We're not that bad.
I'm sorry. I thought you were going to say that Jalen Brunson put up big numbers in the weakest conference.
No.
I thought that's what you were going.
My point is that Jalen Brunson is not going to make us we're championship contenders or whatever. No. He's going to help provide stability. He's going to keep it moving. Okay, he may help to win us a few more games. It's a nudge. I would call it a nudge. It's just
so the point Fish is making is this then. The point is, without Brunson and we move our vets, we will be a worse team, more likely to be in the top 3.
Can I ask a question? Go ahead.
Let me do this real quick. So I'm gonna run because I think Sim is gonna come on in a few minutes, man. And so I'm just gonna ask everybody to go over and support Nothing But Knicks when some of them come on. Right, Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous contribution. We had the worst record and they changed the lottery. I agree. But what I will say is this. What I want to say to that is this. I'm not saying that you go out and tank. What I'm saying is by not bringing in people to bottleneck a position or create a logjam, you free up the space to play the young kids that we all value.
That's a
right.
fact.
By bringing in more vets, all you do is block the path for these young kids that we already have and want to see play. Every time you bring a veteran in, you bring in more and more guys that's going to take minutes away from these young guys that we all like, right? So what I'm saying is don't bring in any more guys. Let these kids play. And if they earn the number 1 pick, then they earn the number 1 pick. But at least you see what you have, right?
And that's what we call a win-win situation.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And if you lose out in Brunson this year, guess what? In free agency, there'll be a Brunson in free agency next year. Trust me, it happens every year. There is some guy we can't live without him guy. And guess what we do? We live without him.
And here's even worse, Freezy. We keep the young guys, and we end up making the playoffs and end up like number 6. Would that be awful?
No.
Okay.
Hey y'all, so I'm gonna wrap up right here. I'm gonna wrap up right here, guys. And listen, I appreciate everybody for coming through. I'm gonna go ahead and watch Sim and them do their thing, and then I'm gonna try to get back on. I tried to get on last night, man. I fell asleep. I dozed off. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I dozed off. I woke up like, oh snap! But I'm gonna try to get back on tonight, man, so that we can rock some more. I love this chat, man. I love the energy and all that stuff. So I'm gonna try to be here as much as I can so that we can have these conversations. So again, thank you. Welcome to Bo, Mr. Ray, and
Thanks,
all other and everybody, the new cats that's coming in. Listen, it's an open door. Just be respectful when you come in. That's all I'm asking. As long as y'all doing that,
I appreciate you, bro.
Doing that, the door is always open.
I appreciate you, bro. Yeah.
Hey, man, appreciate you too, bro. And listen, I appreciate the love before you jumped in the virtual chat because we had always been seeing you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So we appreciate that. We're gonna get on it. Hey, Bill, you coming back or
yeah, I'm gonna try to hop back on.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna soon as them wrap up, give me about 20 minutes to do the thumbnail and all of that, and then we'll jump right back on.
I appreciate you.
All right, fellas, take care.
All right, y'all.
Peace out.
All right, we'll
Peace
holler
out.
later. All right, y'all.